Pacifica. This has been your man, Stan. Join me for another day in our city of dreams.
Welcome back. My guest tonight is Lieutenant Cybercuck, spokeswoman for the NCPD. Hi there. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Ziggy. Thanks for having me.
I hope you made it to the studio without any issues. No carjackings or drive-bys along the way?
No. Fortunately, the streets of Night City are getting safer every day. We've seen recorded homicides drop from 7,103 a year ago to just...
Hold on. The streets are safe, you say, but what about the highways?
I'm sorry?
You heard about the shooting off the Route 1 exit, I trust. Half an hour before any response team arrived on the scene. Over 700 rounds fired in that time. What happened? Where are the gunmen now?
Well, the NCPD is responsible for the safety and security of all citizens within city limits.
Sarah, sweetheart, don't feed us some NCPD script. Be honest with our viewers. When will they finally be safe? When will they no longer need to carry a concealed weapon for a trip to the mall or to take their kids to play ball in the park?
The NCPD is doing everything it can.
Look at that cop squirt.
Hey.
The debater of the West, the Lord of the Jade Sword, gladly receives you.
They're going to call you. They're going to call you racist for this. Aren't you? Wait, hold on. Are you Chinese by ethnicity, or did you just live there?
Of course, I am Chinese.
Okay, hold on. No, you have to stop. Unironically, like they're going to call me racist for this. You have to stop. Wait, is this a soundboard, or is this actually? Are you doing your best like Fu Manchu?
This is so good.
Watch, you do not recognize this voice? I'm doing a Zhao Ming impression from Total Warhammer 3. The Iron Dragon.
I haven't. I just played dwarves.
I saw you literally had a mail-in campaign on stream. Oh, by the way, Chad, I am Chinese.
Okay, you can get away
I don't
with
know.
it. I'll still. They'll still say
say some Chinese.
They're still gonna get me for this.
Oh, great.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Do you start the Grand Cathay campaign with the woman or the man? I forget.
The man. Well, they're not human. They're celestial dragons.
Yes, the celestial dragons. Okay, this is going to be a 90-minute conversation, but if you keep that going, it's going to feel like 5 hours. You have to stop. You have to stop.
Don't worry about it. It's just a funny thing. I was actually thinking about whether or not I should call you a Kislovite, but no, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna do that.
I did finish the Kislev
I'm gonna
campaign,
try to.
but now I just play dwarves.
Yes, it is.
I love dwarves.
Yeah. I understand. Well, Kasei have very similar playstyle with dwarves. So.
Yeah,
Anyway,
hunkering down.
that's- Right, exactly.
Can you believe
Except we have crows now.
how long it's been? I haven't played one. How long it's been since the first email?
Yes, it has been. Actually, the first time I contacted you was because you were tight with Killer Muppin. That was 4 years ago.
It's not
I
4
think that
years
was-
ago. That was like 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. It feels forever ago. Yeah. But yeah, the first time I mentioned about wanting to have a convo.
Fucking
with you
pussy.
was 2 years ago.
Get the fuck out of my
But
face.
yeah.
Christ.
It,
Yeah.
It
the-
took you a long time, my friend.
Well, I was hoping that the Chinese state
What up,
would
bitch?
allow
Let's go.
and that I could, and then I would be like a whole new.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sadly, this
Me
hasn't
too.
happened.
But
When you first reached out, the Hong Kong protests were still going on too.
yes, that was unfortunately.
My southern blood, oh
It's
boy.
very sad to see how that.
Ready to chain you up and whip you.
Yeah, like
I have
actually.
friends in Hong Kong. In their words, the city has perished. It has died.
Yeah, I wanted to talk with you about that. Okay, first of all, this is probably the
Yes.
thing you should open before the ethnic accent impressions. Is could you tell everyone who you are and what your qualifications are for having this conversation?
Of course. Hello, chat. Has been you can refer me as Dino Man. I have been a long time Wash viewer. I was born and raised in China in a fluent family and moved to the US for education some years ago. My first language is Chinese, Mandarin.
You dumbass,
and I
you're
use
gonna
Chinese
die.
social media and internet regularly. I study zoology in America and also conservation biology.
Oh,
So even when I'm not present in China, my living experiences grants me a unique perspective because it's vastly easier for me to access the Chinese internet and have a greater understanding of how the Chinese government functions due to my life experience and all.
Now I remember what I was doing with this game. When I first got it on the Xbox One, I don't know how many hours I put in, maybe like 20 or so hours. Maybe like 20, 30 hours, and then I quit. And then I got it on the PS4. I was like, fuck it, let me try again. I got it on the PS4 Pro. And it played like shit, so I quit after 3 hours. But now I got the PS5. It's good.
Also, my family ties with the local government.
yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jesus, that's a lot.
You
Okay,
fucking
so
dumb fuck.
I think it's quite fitting that this conversation.
Let me
happened
put the
now
joint down.
Because there was that recent bit of China and Taiwan's relationship coming up in the conversation between Hassan Piker and Ethan
Jesus, so
Stein.
fucking glitchy.
You
Where's the barrels
So,
at?
would you mind if I mention Hassan or a specific content creator in this conversation?
Yeah, you can go for it. Don't say anything that's going to get me in trouble. That's all I ask.
Oh, don't worry about it. I will try my best. It's all I'm just gonna say my personal opinion and my experience with some of the community.
Blowing your
and
heads
some
off.
of the
Give me those
content
guts.
creators
Oh,
themselves.
oh yeah, then of course, then please.
Yeah. Also, when I say things you find inappropriate or
Switch-
off topic,
switch
feel free
position.
to shut me down. Okay?
No, I don't. Now, and now that we've established that you're Chinese, which is sort of the information that Chad didn't have at the time, now you can do any accent you want, and nobody can call you racist for it, which is a power I don't have.
Yeah. In fact, I actually
shit took so
wanted
long
to
to kill.
commission a full-body costume of the Iron Dragon. However, my mother
trigger
spent
feels
$3,000
weird for
worth
this.
of costume
It
in a
pops
waste of
down
money.
every, like,
Despite,
2
you know,
seconds.
East Asian family saying like, I'll buy you an $80,000
Everybody's dead.
car, but $3,000
They're fucked.
costume? No deal.
I like how the
Call
trigger
in,
feels.
with the Grand Cathay Grand Dragon V2.
Yeah.
Model.
Grab bag and
It's
jump.
just like 5
Absolutely.
miles behind you. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be hilarious, but you know. So before we begin, to ensure a baseline of knowledge, I want to run through a quick 5-minute or less history of China for the audience.
Please, go
That
right
good?
ahead.
Of course. So before the modern era, there is Imperial China. It has been going for thousands of years, 4,000 years of history, written 5,000 years of history if you include the myths. China was never industrialized by itself because the wage labor, the vast population of China, make wage labor much cheaper than even the animals. So there's no motivation for the government to industrialize.
Yeah.
And one of the most important factors of driving force of Chinese ruling system, governing system, is two components. One of them is the Confucian belief of the societal harmony, and the second one is the administrative bureaucracy system. This class of administrative bureaucracy, which mostly made up by Confucius scholar, this system too is such deeply entrenched in our culture that even when Westerners are trying to take a shallower version of interpretation of our culture, representing in popular media, like, for example, the Grand Cathay of Warhammer, or in D&D in Forgotten Realm, or even in Pandaren of to a Warcraft, right? Pandaria, you can still see elements of these.
Yeah,
I'm out.
It's one
Very
of the
deeply entrenched.
Oh no, it's just it's one of the few things that I guess. So apart from the obvious like religious and cultural stuff, like statecraft bureaucracy. I think I remember in Civilization 4, I think the tech was civil state or administrative state. Or something
shit.
Like that. But that tech
Damn.
was the quote that the narrator gave was one that related to China as well. There's so much stuff like that. I guess. Gets really quickly associated with China. I mean, I think it's funny, like you say stuff like Grand Cathay or the Pandaren or whatever, but for a lot of Westerners, that literally is like what we get of China,
Yes, that is, unfortunately. Which we will talk about this later in our down the line. This will also be a very much recurring
God damn it.
element, overarching arc, if you may, of our conversation today. And quick go to the modern era. China had first time making broad, large-scale contact with the West in the Qing dynasty, and it
He's
was
on
not
fire.
pleasant.
Can't get away from that.
The Opium War. Britain wanted us to
I've
buy
heard
drugs from them.
rumors,
They
yeah.
denied, and they invade. Yeah, and a lot of civilians were slaughtered. They burned down the imperial palace.
Yeah, I think
China was then invaded by different country, and also Japan. Japan successfully industrialized, and they took over part of China.
I don't think.
But China was
I just want to say I don't think I've talked about this extensively with chat. But for those of you who don't know, like basically, like Britain got all of China hooked on opium and like raped the entire country. Like it's difficult to even describe the. I think there are people. I think Kraut said this, that you can attribute a lot of China's modern like global political decisions to basically we want revenge / we want that to never be able to happen again, and they're kind of right to do that. It's really bad. Sorry.
Well, we call it the 100 years of humiliation. It is a symbol of shame to many nationalists that they see China has been stripped away from its position in the world, the center kingdom. 中国 means the central kingdom. That we should be the center of the world economically and politically. However, that was completely ruined, at least to the nationalists perceived by the colonial Western forces.
Yeah, I think someone in
after-
chat pointed it out, but like humiliation is like the core conceit of a lot of national stories. It's like not an origin myth in China's case, but it's like a bedrock upon which you build a lot of decision making, and the Chinese are very, very well justified in feeling that way. I think.
By correcting Chad one thing, Middle Kingdom, yes, that is a translation, but you can also translate it as the Central Kingdom. It's similar. It's a character means different thing. But yeah. And then, World War II, China was large-scale invaded by Japan for decades.
Grab gun didn't work.
And then China split apart again, just like every single end of the dynasty. After Japanese was vanquished, mostly thanks to the aid of America and Soviet Union. However, Chinese people did their best to fight off Japan, but we literally cannot produce tank. We don't have the tech. We don't have the resources. So it was a very bloody battle. Decent amount of my family member even died in that war. My grandmother was even enslaved, just like many Chinese children at then. She was only 8.
Jesus.
And she spent most of her teenage life working in a horrible factory. No they whip her every day if she doesn't work to her skins and bones, and they feed her rotted grains with worms in it. But that's better than starving because they took away all their food. It's even illegal for Chinese occupants to eat rice because all the rice are offering to the greater laws of Japan.
Which
It's very sad.
which province was this in, if you don't mind me asking? Like around where? Because I know the Japanese made it in pretty far, like Manchurian stuff.
It's northern China. I would love to talk more about my personal history, but maybe not in a broader platform.
Of course, gotcha.
Down the circle on me and my brother or my family, very, very, they'll be easily like, oh, wait a second, this guy have this family connection, and hey, how many siblings he have, or, so it will be very.
No, I
dangerous
understand
if I say
completely.
too much. Thank you. Thank you so much for understanding, Wash. I appreciate it. But after Japanese was vanquished, China broke into a civil war again. As you know, the Nationalist Party, the Kuomintang, and the Communist Party, the Gongchandang, Zhongguo Gongchandang. My grandmother was liberated by the Red Army, led by Mao himself. Basically made her a communist for life. Who wouldn't? I would too if I'm her. So that's good. However, during later of his rule, maybe because he's thinking he's losing a grasp of his power, maybe he genuinely want to eliminate backward traditions. Mao started two things. One of them is the infamous Cultural Revolution. The other thing is he wanted to industrialize China as fast as possible. So he started a process called the Great Leap Forward. Both of them was a massive, massive failure. Together, it causes 30 million people to starve at least, and catastrophic ecological disaster in China, which I will talk about later when I'm talking about my field of expertise. After his passing, Deng Xiaoping, as you know, Deng Xiaoping, he basically couped the government, took down Mao's wife and other few, the Gang of Four, took over China in the he did a market economy reform in the 1980s. And now this China turned into a country that more resembles the China today. And then today, China is a rapidly urbanizing capitalist superpower, but still at least 30% of its population, noting this population percentage is larger, much larger than the United States, lives as peasants. And it is without a doubt a hyper-authoritarian fascist one-party state that prioritizes stability and centralized overwhelming power over anything. This is the only thing China cares.
Did I skip it? Did it work?
And power, or in other words, harmony, societal harmony. Or, Wash, would you mind if I do a Warhammer impression?
No, go right. You've earned it. Go right for it.
Yep. Nothing endures without harmony, and harmony only endures through us. That was, if you watch the Cassian trailer that was in there, I really like that. And also oh, you know what? I'll just keep going to the next topic. I'll just stop.
Well, hold on. Chat can't deny that you sound great when you do that shit. So they're sort of torn between.
Thank you, Chat. I highly appreciate.
Let me get that soda right there. Get some juice.
And also the damn that sounds.
Guess not.
I think I want to ask really quickly, because I don't actually know that much about it. You said that there was effectively a coup after Mao. I know Mao's wife was taken. What? Was this like the coup that happened with Putin, where like the TVs went dark for a day or two, and then he just showed up on the TVs?
Exactly. So what happened was this: when Mao passed away, he appointed a politician or bureaucrat called Hua Guofeng. He was one of Mao's most trusted member of the party, Mao literally told him, 你办事我放心, as in you do things, I trust you to do things. And when Hua Guofeng after Mao died, Hua Guofeng became the chairman. However, at the time, the Gang of Four, so there's 3 other bureaucrats, as well as Mao's wife, was.
Oh shit! He
still in
killed him.
power,
Thank
but
God, I
Hua
hated
Guofeng,
Dex.
as well as some of the other really old leader within the party. It includes Ye Jianying and Deng Xiaoping, basically eliminated the Gang of Four and ended Cultural Revolution officially. Yeah, well, it's not entirely a coup, but Deng Xiaoping later also.
This is annoying.
Well, not dethroned, but took away the power of Hua Guofeng and became officially the second chairman of the CPC. Yeah, as well as the People's Republic of China.
Gotcha.
But Hua Guofeng was actually supposed to be the actual chairman after Mao, but his power was stripped by them and Ye Jianying.
Yeah, I was curious as opposed to the amount of like.
Jesus Christ! This will actually give somebody a migraine.
Instability the coup caused, but this seems like, as at least by the scale of Chinese civil
Deng has a really
conflict.
good grasp.
Yeah, but compared to the history of
Thank
Chinese
God.
Civil conflict, that.
All right, let's go. I'll shoot that asshole. Hey, boys. I'm ready to pop off. I'm shooting you in the fucking head. Jesus. Oh, what the fuck? Spit on him. Nice. Little twisted metal action. Ooh! Shoot him. Oh, nice. He just blew up. I was shooting his body. Was he made of explosives? Who's this dickhead? I'm not shooting. What's going on? I have the gun in my hand. I'm just looking at him. Alright, whatever. Oh! Oh, shit! Yep, hold the car steady. I didn't even need to shoot him. Whatever. Is he dead?
They are faint again. Keep your eyes open.
Nice, we got him. That gives me enough strength to live. Finish him off. We got him. I'll take my bonus.
Could use medical attention. Do you know a Ripadok whom you can trust?
My man Victor. I remember you.
You were at Kompeki Plaza. We must get to Ripadok quickly.
Okay, Victor can help.
Victor will fix us up. We have to get there somehow. Call someone.
Man, I'm just... I'm dying over here.
Alright.
Pick up your fucking phone.
Greetings. My scanner indicates you are outside the surface.
Oh, fuck you, Delamain.
Pick
It's critical, I'm urgent right now.
to get to Misty's esoterica. front of Vic's.
Yes, I'm very horny. I need a brain
The pickup
dance.
is en route. It should arrive in less than 20 minutes.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
All you had to do was beg him.
The personal link is damaged.
Please proceed to insert the jack below the ear. Though not too
Maybe
deep,
Takamura can be my new
there should
friend.
be auxiliary neurosockets between his lymph nodes, beneath
Hey,
the
Taki.
SCM muscle.
Hey, Daddy.
If I hit the vein by mistake, he will die.
Indeed, as he will if you do nothing.
Help me out, buddy.
I have the socket.
Now proceed to connect.
Go ahead, connect it.
Let's get him inside.
I cannot hold it.
But what's wrong with you?
To rest.
Oh, damn.
That your blood? Misty!
Yeah, we need the whole team on this one. Damn, Vic is,
Pressure's tanking.
such a good guy. I'm tired of all these glitches. I keep thinking my screen is tearing.
No other way.
Oh, man.
I know what I'm doing.
I don't want to be looking at surgery. Alright, it's over.
Is ultimately to defend the well-being of my family, that is why I have decided to
Oh, this annoying sound again. Jesus Christ. Don't know, light a joint. Got more waiting.
This is about as clean as it goes, I feel.
Absolutely. It's very clean, yes.
Yeah, okay, so Deng starts implementing market reforms and essentially modernizing China, and we arrive today, as you've described, as an authoritarian one-party state. A very powerful one at that too, very internationally relevant. I know that, and this is why we started talking right from the get-go. I mean, this was sort of the initial incident. It's that you're not satisfied with the way a lot of Western leftists talk about China and its issues. I mean, that much I think is clear.
Certainly.
Can you tell me, yeah, like, what's your experience with that? Like, what do you go online and you see it? Like, what's happening here, you know?
I feel like shit.
So, I will give you, to begin, I'll start with a few personal experience. I know this is still not like a very good way to begin the conversation because it sounds anecdotal, but one time, Second Thought, I think he wanted to make a video about Asian American rights, and he platformed like a guy, Bay Area ML, I think that's his name.
Ah, yes.
I don't even think he's remotely Asian. It's like that guy never even showed his face, and I don't think he's Asian. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. They're also genocide deniers, so I don't expect them to know anything about China, at least in a good face.
They killed me.
And even actual Asian leftists, some of them actually content creator, reach out to Second Thought, like, hey, why are you platforming this guy to talk over Asian people, over our struggle, over country that is associated with us? Not only he did not respond, he just started mass blocking us. In fact, many large tanky accounts, you would never see them interact with people
Yeah,
who
Johnny
does not
Silverhand.
support the Chinese government, because they would pre-block Chinese dissidents. And generally speaking, for many Chinese leftists who our views on tankies is we dislike them.
Yeah, you talked to me about this, or you reached out to message like me on this. But in China, leftist groups are suppressed. Marxist student organizations, union rights activists, worker advocates, basically every group that in the West is considered a leftist is in China suppressed by the government. And I never hear from those people. ever. I never look
What
at
kind of pussy ass options are
and hear
these?
anything
Well,
from or about those.
this is the same.
You'll fix me up, right?
This is why I really
You're talking
appreciate
bullshit. Tell me
you
it ain't
gave us
real.
this,
It's the
platform.
same option.
The thing is this, Rosh. For a Chinese American or a Chinese person residing in America to have a voice, you only have two choices. You either work for the Chinese state, you work in the academia, or you directly operate a social media account, something like that, to directly say good things, praise the Chinese government. They are the leading force of socialism in the world and nothing else. They give you the script, you say it, that's it. Or you be like Falun Gong, you basically be this Asian POC front for American conservative power, because Western leftism is incredibly weak against a faction like CPC. Because first of all, most tankies, they don't speak Chinese. They cannot understand first-hand Chinese sources. That their information is limited to their own English translators, and oftentimes
can I speak to that really
direct
quickly?
propaganda from the state. Go ahead. Please.
So yeah, I remember this because I remember this issue was really weird with the Uyghur Muslim camps that they were put in when the Chinese government had documents that leaked that described detainment and arrest procedures, which made them look really bad. And the thing that I remembered thinking when that information got leaked is, wow, it is almost impossible to find a translation of these papers because the papers are leaked in Mandarin, and Chinese or Mandarin is one of the most spoken and written languages on earth. You'd think, like, if documents got leaked in Spanish, there would be translations of them everywhere within 2 hours, like no time at all. But for some reason, despite Mandarin being so popular, the only translations of it that I could find were from like news sites that were doing very limited, like this snippet said that, this snippet said that. I didn't see any like internet posts where it was like, yeah, I translated the whole thing, here you go. It was really tough to find, and I feel like that
Oh,
might be
you're lovely.
kind of the reason why, because the people who could translate it are very politically disincentivized to not translate it, you know?
Good night, V.
I mean, if you are a Chinese
Good night.
dissident, the problem is this: if you are a
Sexy.
Chinese dissident in the Western world, you often work with American conservative groups, and
She's hot.
you don't need to talk about the Uyghur concentration camp in order for you to do advocacy, because their political ideology is far-right Republican Christian nationalism that specifically focus on America, not minorities' rights in China. And the people who supposed to care about minority rights, lefties, first they lack the ability to translate because white people in America don't tend to be bilingual. You know, not to say like they study Chinese, which is a pretty hard language. And so you cause this very weird epistemological black hole that I personally would prescribe that many tankies are neo-Orientalism. Are you familiar with Edward Said and Orientalism, Bosch?
Like the original conceptualization of it, yeah.
I don't smoke cigarettes, I smoke
this
weed.
idea of the Western world see East Asia through the Western gaze, that a unchanging world that can only be the contrary of Western world. That Western world is modern, the Orients are backward, or the Orients are cunning, but they cannot be smart. The best example will be, like for example, Fu Manchu, right? Like he can be cunning, but he cannot be smart. He can never win against the Westerners because he lacks something essential. And in a way, neo-Orientalism, that is, yes, exactly, this human spirit. But the Tenki is a bit different with, you know, traditional, 1920s eugenic Orientalism. It is more of a ideological driven, desperate grasp, trying to see this hope from the East, because the own innate lack of ability from the tankies. They cannot do anything. Their political advocacy is weak and unpractical, right? They cannot push changes here in the Western world. So they gaze upon through a Western-oriented gaze to look for some other alternative, to form this campus perspective that multipolar seek another great other to project their desire of change and revolution. But that doesn't work because they cannot fundamentally actually understand what is going on in China or Russia, right? They don't speak Russian. They don't talk to actual Russian people. They don't speak Chinese. They don't talk to Chinese people. We don't have a voice. Chinese leftists in the Western world have zero voice. Vosh, you are literally
take a shower,
the first person,
get all cleaned up.
the only person who have ever invited people like us on a platform. This is a jab towards SDL because I have scheduled something with SDL.
I can't piss?
Years ago.
The fuck?
That
Is that my
failed on
toilet
me.
paper?
Okay, to be fair,
I
I do not have a great track record when it comes to quickly responding to and scheduling stuff. So we love our
It
SDL
took you
here.
2 years.
I think
That's something though.
I really do think.
I respect SDL. He's a great meme creator.
No. We love our SDLs here, folks. I think that a lot of it really. You said earlier this is like a weakness of Western leftists, and I think that's true. Leftism in the West is really bundled up with progressivism. You know, it's not just like the worker dynamic; it's also the social dynamic, like race and gender. And I think that's good, but it means that Western lefties are often really vulnerable to like. The weaponization of POC marginalization and politics. And I think that a big part of why Chinese leftists are so rarely heard, even on Western leftist spaces, is because it's so easy for everyone else to jump to accusing you of being like basically self-hating and anti-POC. Like if I could line everyone who dislikes me up and try to get
Oh
like
God,
a
dick out.
characterization of you from what you've said, despite you having not said a single thing that indicates like self-hatred or like you like America or you're like a cuck or whatever, I guarantee you that's the default they would go to. That is like the easy answer they would fall to.
Wash, you have no idea how many times they accuse me of being a race traitor, of being a Hanjian. Hanjian means the traitor of the Han nation. It is usually used during the World War II to accuse people traitor to the Japanese side. It is fascinating experience. You know, I don't really get mad. I just get disappointed.
Yeah.
Seeing like a white guy lives in California and then calls me a race traitor or call me or what does they say? Gonzalo? I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation. The people call the Cubans, right?
Yeah, the Gusanos, yeah.
When I am literally a leftist who
Can't choose a muzzle?
My friends getting persecuted, missing.
What happened?
In China,
I have 4 available.
and
Probably not for
I
the pistol.
Come to the West and they see things like
Wait,
this.
now I can't see the scope.
You know, you see a similar dynamic in a lot of other directions too.
What?
Because it seems like if you are a leftist
Oh,
or progressive who belongs to a country that does not have good relations with the United States, it's really difficult to get a left perspective from that country because so many of the people who turn over from it are financially incentivized into either shutting up or right-wing grifting. Iran is a good example as well, right? Like, there are tons of Iranians in America, or former Iranians. But how often are, like, leftist Iranians or expats, I guess, heard, even though there should be a ton of them? It's because I feel like it's that, too, right? Like, there's either an incentive for them to do the right-wing, like, oh, you know, I'm a former Muslim kind of thing, or nobody's to listen to them because it's, you know, they fall so easily to accusations of self-hating or whatever.
Yeah, but also, Vosh, you have to understand that the largest Chinese American media that is owned by Falun Gong, the cult, called Xintangren, the new, actually, how did they translate themselves in Chinese? I mean, English. Actually, I'm not sure.
The Epoch Times.
I know the Epoch Times is the Dajuyuan. That's their newspaper. Their media company, I think it's called basically direct translate to New Chinese. You can look them up on. They have a YouTube channel. Anyhow, there is a huge amount of money, and that directly incentivize people to go to the right-wing grift. Let me give you an example. There was a very famous Chinese billionaire called Guo Wengui. He moved to America through political refugee because he basically got into a political scandal. The faction that he supported within CPC, also CPC is not a united front. It is a gigantic party with tens of thousands of bureaucrats that forms local, regional, and oftentimes ideological driven factions within the party. Mao Zedong himself said that 党内无派千奇百怪 means it would be really weird if within a giant party there's no factions. Anyhow,
Red
this
jacket,
Guo
that's cute.
Guy, he's a billionaire, or he was, and he moved to America about I think.
Kind of want to show off my
2018,
shirt. Hold on.
Immediately, he was catched up with Rudy Giuliani, and then he connected with Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon became one of his
I can't see the
personal
stats.
friends that helped him to
It
run
shows
this
that it's
gigantic,
better, but
Chinese American focused media empire. He was a big deal
The fuck?
in the Chinese American community, and because Chinese American has a lot of money, he grifted so hard that what is that platform Steve Bannon created? That not Bosch, I mean Trump was on for a bit. I forgot. It was.
Yeah, I'm blanking too, but I know what you're referring to. Breitbart.
Yeah, but a lot of the money was brought by this Guo billionaire, Guo Wengui. No one in the American world, in the American mainstream media, even heard about this guy. They never mentioned anything about him.
Do you think
And
it was
also-
they were just disinclined to talk about it because of like racial issues, or they just didn't know?
No, they don't know. There is again, that's why I said earlier, epistemic black hole, because mainstream media in America wouldn't pick up Chinese story, because why would they? Everyone who works for them don't speak Chinese. They don't have any source or even clue to find this information. And they don't work with Epoch Time because they all know Epoch Time is a kind of a joke of a media company. But they have a lot of power and money within the Chinese American community. It's the same thing with a lot of other type of alternative right-wing media in other first-generation immigrant community in America. I remember John Oliver actually covered an episode focused on the disinformation spread in immigrant community in America. Mainstream media.
How do
really
I
lack
upgrade
the
this
ability to combat
engineer?
them because they cannot be the alternative to these immigrant community. Their English is not good enough to listen to MSNBC and CNN. They have YouTube, and they look at these big follow and YouTube algorithm help these company as well. Because if you don't use English, algorithm will not give you these videos, right? So you will constantly be in this bubble that is surrounded by these alternative media run by these right-wing group that use these languages.
I remember the first year I came to America during high school. Immediately, YouTube started to giving me anti-China, like Epoch Time adjacent propaganda videos.
We don't
It's
really
just
have
ridiculous making crap ups.
Yeah, this is a problem with like the American assimilationist attitude. I think a lot of people's attitude towards immigrations, even people who aren't like necessarily racist, even like left-wing people, it's just, oh, we have all of these immigrants from Korea, Japan, China, India, Pakistan, whatever, all over the world. Haha. They can do whatever they want, and we're just gonna do our stuff in English and whatever. Smile. And the big weakness here, right, is that, like you've said, a lot of these communities don't speak English well enough on average to really engage with those media sources, and that means that they're much more susceptible to falling down certain pipelines. So the American assimilationist attitude ends up kind of guaranteeing the assimilation doesn't work because there's no effort to reach out. Because I can't even think, like, you're right, I can't even really think of, like, a mainstream media American Chinese correspondent. I know they exist, but they don't have enough media prominence to do the work they need to do. And the public conception of China is so, like, a lot of this is because of the war in Ukraine, but I know 50,000 times as much about the way Russia operates internally than I do China. When I think of China, the only two things that I like immediately pop to my head are what A, like a single party state with absolute power, and B, a bunch of like ghost cities that will one day be populated that are built in like the valleys beneath misty mountains. And because that's all you see. You see TikTok videos about how China is in the year 3000, and you see like authoritarian repression stuff, and that's it. Oh, they got it.
Wash?
Hello.
Oh.
Hello, hello.
Sorry, I think there was like a... Oh, here we go. We're back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a signal jam.
All good. Happens all the time.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not the CPC is on us.
Probably not. But you get me, right?
There's a CCP agent among us.
Like, I have strong
yes.
cultural... when I think Russia...
Let's talk to Mama Wells. I actually care about Jackie. Let's talk.
Good to hear you. Finally. Been a long time since we talked. Since when Jackie passed away.
Wanted to offer my condolences.
Calling to offer my condolences.
Offer your condolences. Ay, Jesucristo, you lived under our roof. Have the decency not to treat me like some stranger you just met. I was going to call you. I prepared an ofrenda for Jaquito. We can't let him go without a proper goodbye. The ceremony will be at the Coyote Cojo. Many of his friends will be there.
Say no more, Mama Wells. I'll be there.
I did not doubt it for a second. Ahí te veo, Vi.
Probably like, what the fuck? I already just called you, bitch. What's going on here? Who's this? I could fuck with these cops. Overheat. Hey, officers. Don't mind me. Racketeer, Tiger Claws, wanted in Night City. Not gonna fuck with that right now.
Open up.
Hey, wait! No, you were in there.
Watch out, bitch.
Don't got no fucking warrant. Know what the worst thing is
Let me hit on some bags with you guys.
What do you got for sale? Only top shelf gear.
He's got steroids. I don't want that. Oh, one-handed club. Is it gonna say non-lethal? Electric baton. Electric baton. One-handed club. It says on the information it's gonna say if it's non-lethal. None of these say non-lethal. I need one of those. Is there any more information? No, that's it. One electric baton gamma. Alpha, beta. I'll get the beta. What's gamma? $6,000? You fucking kidding me for that piece of shit? No fucking way. Suck my dick. Man, what is this bullshit? Melee weapon. Now I'm doing sharp weapons, sorry. I'll sell my shit though. Thanks, buddy. I wonder if I could put the legendary pistols in storage. I'll just sell them. OS1 Gimlet Eye. Let me sell my junk. See if I can disassemble. Is there a disassemble option? Nope. Oh wait, hold on. One of these guys got my attachment. Yes, confirm. Yes, confirm. Thank you. I'm out.
Hey, B.
What up, bitch?
Seen you in a good 1, 2, few weeks. Figured you'd skip town.
I had some trouble.
Just trouble, usual stuff.
In need of iron and lead, then I take it.
Yes. Show me what you got.
Sure, let me see what you got.
Got a smart subby. Oh, power. Okay. I'll take some sights. Advantage. Nice. Good name. 375. I got 40,000. I could definitely pay back Victor now. I'll get the handyman. Oh, Taipon. That's a better silencer. We need those. A long scope. And that one. Double barrel shotgun. Double barrel. I'll play with what I got for now. Fuck, I forgot what did I just get. Oh. Better silencer. Here we go. Ooh, I can upgrade to a better cyber deck too. Nice. I'm out.
I don't just think of the government, right? There's so much Russian literature. There's so much like stuff specific to Russia. And when I think of India, even though I don't know much about India, and I don't think the average American knows much about India, I think that the average American could probably refer to a kind of general understanding of its cultural richness and of its variety and its diversity. But with China, they have been successful in that like unity through strength thing. Because I think China, despite being so big and so populous and so varied, it is difficult to think of it as anything other than like, you know, a single block. I know logically that it's not. It's just that imaging is really effective.
So you mentioned about a really good point, Wash, that China, from the surface, looks like a big bulk, right? Which I think maybe I can use this to lead to the next point I want to say. That one of the saying, I know this sounds a little bit off topic from what we were just talking about because we're talking about Asian American. We'll come back to Asian American after we go through some of the things, because we've been spending a lot of time talking about things that me and my friends who were helping me collecting all this information was not originally thinking about.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, I want to. Would you mind if we go back to some of the topic I was originally
No,
thinking about talking
lead the
about?
way, friend. Go right ahead.
Thank you so much. So the next thing I want to talk about is how Chinese government control the discourse. By discourse,
It's not Twitter discourse, but the Foucauldian discourse, the creation and operation of knowledge. It's just like, you know how America have controlled
the fuck
media.
is my car?
All media companies are owned by a few gigantic corporations, and they have strong incentive to make sure these media companies don't see anything that hurts the capitalist interest. China, on the other hand, it's every single media and media company are controlled by the state. They may have some different opinion on specific topic, but overall their goal is the same, to preserve societal harmony. And through that, it generates the discourse. It's, again, knowledge and creation of it.
Wash?
Yes.
Are you with us?
No, I'm fully with you. I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were going to continue that point forward. No, yeah. This is like we're treading into territory that like legitimately I don't know that much about. Most of my coverage of China has been in the context of the Hong Kong protests, and there's some stuff recently is with the Naomi Wu disappearance, the YouTuber who
Yes.
who got yoinked.
Yes.
So I like honestly I could just listen to you.
For Naomi Wu, it is very sad. I do not know her personally, of course. Though I know her a while ago because she's more kind of a gay icon in China. Not a lot of Chinese people know her because Chinese government would not.
Oh, I
allow
watched
women
this one already.
with gigantic breasts with see-through clothes to show up on the internet. But a lot of people kind of know her, and a lot of Chinese people who can use VPN to see Twitter.
There's no time to waste, B.
For their growth. Does Xbox still want to buy Nintendo? Well, the recent Xbox leaks continue to give insight into past, current, and potential future plans for their growth in gaming. We've learned about current and future hardware plans, and while those may be subject to change, it seems that Xbox had their sights on Nintendo among other potential acquisition targets. And given the language in the email from Phil Spencer, I don't think Nintendo is off the table. This would not be the first time that Microsoft has expressed interest in buying Nintendo. So the question is, well, should we be concerned about consolidation reaching beyond devs and publishers? How possible would it be to buy a direct competitor, to buy an entire platform? Well, I put all the good info right here at the start of the video so you don't have to go look.
Tom's a good guy. Don't fuck with him.
And then I discuss it with the live audience. If you
Before he
don't want
fucks
to
your
miss out on
wife.
content like this or my live shows, please be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss my shows. Well, the Xbox leads continue to give us insight into a lot of what Xbox is planning and discussing internally. And one major revelation that came to the surface is that they are still, aspirationally at least, interested in Nintendo. I happen to think that the email we will be looking at is more than simply aspirational, but I admit there is room for disagreement or different of opinions on this. First, I want to look at the leaks. I've already covered the hardware leaks, and we covered those first because I thought they were the most concrete. Unfortunately for Microsoft, they are also probably the most damaging. Your competitors seeing your exact hardware plans and architecture, as well as the timing, that is not ideal. We also looked at the Game Pass leaks and why they are not looking too great with respect to their growth and their goals, and they're going to need to make some changes in order to hit them. This time we will be looking at an email from Phil Spencer about his interest in Nintendo. Now, second, I want to talk about why this is not concerning. There is a lot
Ooh, you got a
standing in the
bag?
way of this
Can I rob
type
you?
of acquisition or merger. I want to look at those realities. I
Ooh,
found it
I can
more
read?
concerning
Hold on.
that there were people that were in support
Let me back there.
of this.
Fuck.
They were in support of Microsoft buying Nintendo, but that is a whole separate topic. Lastly, I want to talk about why this is concerning. Much of the Xbox strategy and plan is very invested in big spending and consolidative efforts. I want to draw a clear dividing lines between timed exclusivity, third-party exclusives, buying a direct competitor. These things are not even remotely the same. So first, let's just look at the leaks. First, we have to consider the ramifications of the leaks about the hardware as well as Game Pass. Xbox's competitors now have a very clear glimpse into their hardware strategy and plans. Now, Phil Spencer did take to Twitter to say that these plans change. He tweeted the following. He said, "We've seen the conversation around old emails and documents. It is hard to see our team's work shared in this way because so much has changed and there's so much to be excited about right now and in the future. We will share the real plans when we are ready." So obviously he's implying that these leaked plans are not the quote-unquote real plans. And it seems reasonable that many of these concepts, the timelines, even the plans themselves, they may have changed to some degree. But with the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks and the potential of PS5 Pro next year, Xbox is not looking very strong on the hardware front after these leaks. The Game Pass leaks were equally alarming, as Microsoft's goals for Game Pass seem to be out of reach long term. And more than that, getting third-party games for Game Pass is far more expensive than many of us originally thought. Enough money for entire game budgets or even studio purchases are estimated for the bigger third-party games coming to Game Pass if they were to approach these games. But now we turn our attention to the infamous Nintendo email. So first, let's just look at the opening paragraph, okay? I just want to look at that first because it's a doozy, all right? I want to read and comment on aspects of this. So I have it kind of big enough so that you can see it, because I know sometimes people think maybe I'm misquoting. I always do absolute due diligence to not misquote anybody, okay? Now, Phil's responding to someone named Takeshi. He says, "Takeshi, I totally agree that Nintendo is the prime asset for us in gaming, and today, gaming is our most likely path to consumer relevance. I've had numerous conversations with the LT of Nintendo about tighter collaboration, and feel like if any US company would have a chance with Nintendo, we are probably in the best position." Now, this is in response to Takeshi basically saying that Nintendo would be a great target due to its, quote, rich set of franchises, and Phil is agreeing. But Phil also said that gaming is their most likely path to consumer relevance, and it's really hard to disagree with him, right? Consumers don't really think about Windows. There is not a Windows phone in the market anymore, so a massive inroad to consumer relevance would be gaming, especially with gaming's current and projected growth. Now, Phil goes on to say, the unfortunate, or fortunate for Nintendo, situation is that Nintendo is sitting on a big pile of cash. They have a board of directors, BOD, they have a board of directors that until recently had not pushed for further increases in market growth or stock appreciation. I say until recently, as our former Microsoft board of directors member, Value Act, has been heavily acquiring shares of Nintendo, and I've kept in touch with Mason Morfitt as he's been acquiring. It's likely he will be pursuing more from Nintendo stock, which could create opportunities for us. Now, this is where I need to pause and push back on the notion that this is purely aspirational corpo speak, okay? Jez Corden and I went back and forth on Twitter. We disagreed about this. It was polite, it was cordial. That's a welcome thing on Twitter, given how caustic so many people can be. But he saw this email as, quote, aspirational corpo speak, that it wasn't really something that they were looking at, okay? I pushed back and I said, listen, you don't stay in touch with people who are heavily acquiring Nintendo shares and saying, look, this could create an opportunity for us, all right? I don't think Phil monitoring and staying in touch with those who are, quote, heavily acquiring shares of Nintendo is just aspirational speak. Phil's not asleep at the wheel. He's keeping an eye on this. He admits that this could create an opportunity. Now, I could aspirationally say that I would love to live in a bigger home, but if I'm checking home sale apps every day,
I think it's time we do some quests.
A realtor, I don't think it's just aspirational
Meet
anymore,
with Judy
okay?
for
it's
what?
Something that I'm actively monitoring and waiting to act on. Phil continues in the email. He says, without that catalyst, I don't see an angle to a near-term mutually
what the
agreeable
fuck happened to my
merger
car?
of Nintendo and Microsoft, and I don't think a hostile action would be a good move, so we are playing the long game. But our board of directors has seen the full write-up on Nintendo and Valve, and they are fully supportive on either if opportunity arises, as am I. This is where things get a little interesting. The big debate is about the language surrounding hostile action. Many are quick to say, look, Phil says hostile action would not be a good move. Okay, that's true. He did say that. But that's also about the softest way to phrase a negative that I've ever seen. He's not saying hostile action is out of the question. He's not saying it's off the table, okay? He's just saying, yeah, it wouldn't be a good move. It's a very, very soft way to say something in a negative fashion. In business, risk assessment will sometimes having you making a decision
this bitch is
that
out.
may not be a good
Damn.
move. Okay? So saying like this is not a good move doesn't mean it's completely off the table. But the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, is that Phil says they are, quote, playing the long game. This is also, I believe, a refutation of the idea that this is just aspirational corpo speak. Phil is saying, listen, we're playing a long game. We're waiting for the right opportunity.
The fuck did I walk into?
It's not aspirational. That means you're watching this and hoping and waiting to take advantage of it, to pounce, to buy them if opportunity arises. It would be like headhunting somebody for your sports team. And you say, you know what, right now we can't make a compelling offer, so we're playing the long game, all right? That means you're actively interested. And you're going to make moves to bring about a scenario where you can make a compelling offer. This should be pretty concerning to anyone, gamers and non-gamers alike. Phil is saying they are playing the long game for a monopolistic merger with a direct competitor. Remember how strongly Microsoft argued to have Nintendo included in all the regulatory analysis? Well, it's now a matter of case law then, right? Given that the regulators approved this deal to get Activision Blizzard based off that said argumentation that, look, Nintendo's a direct competitor for Xbox. You can't argue for months that you're in third place and then turn around and try and buy or merge with the company in first or even second, right?
Johnny,
No matter
shut the
who's
fuck
there,
up.
You can't be like, listen, we're in third place. We're in third place. We're competing against Nintendo and we're competing against Sony, and then you're privately angling to buy one of them. That's not buying a developer. That's not buying timed exclusivity. That's monopolistic behavior. That's absolutely out of the question. We can't let something like this happen. Now, I don't feel like spending a lot of time on this, okay? But the last sentence is up for debate, okay? I don't want to belabor this point, okay? But the last sentence starts with the word but, okay? But is a conjunction. And when you start a sentence with a conjunction, you are grammatically linking the two sentences together as one thought. So as soon as he's done saying that hostile action would not be a good move and that they're playing the long game, he says but. Listen to how that sounds. Just listen to how it sounds when I say it. Listen, hostile action would not be a good move.
Mox, you left your bat out here.
Game, but you're immediately linking and acting like, but, I mean, we might do it if opportunity arises. Now, I've had folks tell me that when he says that he and the board of directors are supportive of either, he's referring to Nintendo and Valve. Okay, I'll grant that. The antecedent to either could be in the previous sentence due to the conjunction of but it also could be Nintendo and Valve. Even if we ignore the word either, Phil is completing the previous thought about hostile action versus the long game. And he concludes that thought by saying, if opportunity arises, both myself and the board of directors support it. Interpret that however you will. I want to move on to the final paragraph, but I did want to make mention of that. I think that's fair pushback to be like, when he says either, he's referring to Nintendo and Valve. I don't think so. I don't think he's doing that because, again, the sentence starts with a conjunction, so he's completing the previous thought, which links the word either, making its antecedent the two previous things contrasted in the prior sentence. I think that grammatically makes way more sense, but let's move on. Image number 2 here for you. This is the last paragraph of the email. Phil says, I love this discussion and value you looking
How do I
at
get a car
opportunities
back?
here. At some point, getting Nintendo would be a career moment, and I honestly believe a good move for both companies. See, this again is not aspirational corpo speak. He's thinking about this. He's like, this would be big for my career. It'd be good for both companies. Okay, he's actually considering this. He's wanting it to happen. And the last part is the best. He says, it's just taking a long time for Nintendo to see that their future exists off of their own hardware. A long time. Smiley face. I love the smiley face. It's my favorite part. Listen, this is where folks, I think, are getting the idea that, like, this is just aspirational. This is just Phil saying, oh, this would be a career moment for me, okay? Yeah,
How do I get my car back?
It would be a career moment because it would be a historical moment in global economics and gaming. Like, Microsoft buying Nintendo would be historical. It would also be tectonically
vehicle.
terrible, okay? But the real thing to notice in this section is the sheer hubris of thinking that you know better than Nintendo. The third place, let us buy to compete, non-market leader apparently knows better than the king. Let us just say that, like, Phil's right. Let's just say Nintendo does have a future that exists off of their own hardware, okay? It's just arrogant, just brazenly arrogant to posture like you know better than the king of gaming, Nintendo. But, okay, let's just grant the premise, okay? Yeah, Nintendo, their future exists off their own hardware. Well, you think monopolistic merger between the two direct competitors, you think that's the answer? That that's good for everyone? No, it's good for Microsoft because you would acquire a huge asset in the global market. Nintendo has the means to branch out into other platforms if they want. They don't need Microsoft for that. They've launched mobile
Garage,
games.
I missed it.
They can easily port games to PC if they wanted. For goodness sakes, emulators and modders already do that. You think they need Microsoft to get their games on PC? They don't need Microsoft for that. Sony is significantly smaller than Microsoft, has less money than Microsoft.
Ooh,
has
big
that
dick.
hindered Sony's ability to bring their games to PC? Has that hindered Sony's ability to invest in cloud? No.
God of
Nintendo
War?
apparently won't be able to figure this out without the third place market loser helping them. The whole thing is just laughable. But obviously, if you're like me and you care about the gaming economy more than getting Mario on Game Pass, because that'll save you a little bit of money, is this concerning, right? If you're like me and you look at this and go, whoa, 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 you're talking about buying a direct competitor.
Oh,
now.
look
You're
at
not
this
talking
piece of
about
shit.
buying a studio. Let's first look at why this is not concerning. First, Nintendo has done stock buybacks, okay? As my research was able to look at this, I quickly did some searches. It looks like they did a stock buyback in 2021 and then again in 2022. These emails were sent in 2020, so this might have been done in response. We don't directly know if this was done in response to that, but Phil's talking in 2020 about this Company Value Act making aggressive purchases of shares, and then in 2021 and 2022, Nintendo's doing stock buybacks. As it stands right now, that Company Value Act currently holds less than 2% of Nintendo's shares, so I don't think there's a concern there, and hopefully now with this email out there, Nintendo's like, aha, gotcha, we're on to you if you try to do this. Now, it's not definitive. We don't know if Nintendo was paying attention to this. We don't know if they had other completely unrelated motives to stock buyback. You do that at different times as a company for varying degrees and for different reasons. Now, after this email, I really hope Nintendo is paying attention to this. Any partnership, any talks, not even about a merger, just any sort of semblance of a
What the
business
fuck was
relationship
that?
between Xbox and Nintendo, I would imagine it's in a bit of a different light right now. If I were Nintendo, I would walk Phil to the door. I would end any discussions. I would not let Microsoft in the door. You don't need Microsoft for anything that they have. You don't need them for cloud. You don't need to get that. You don't even need them for PC. I'd be talking to Valve. If I was Nintendo and I wanted to branch out for my own hardware, I would be talking to Valve or companies that can port games to PC. I wouldn't even talk to Microsoft at this point. I would find somebody else to help with those things, because right now, Microsoft could be greasing the wheels, right? Hey, we can help with PC ports and cloud solutions. No, I'd walk them to the door, be like, no, thank you. We're not interested. You're out here talking like you know better than us. You're out here talking about you're making moves that might open up opportunity for hostile action, or we're going to play the long game. We're going to be really patient on Nintendo. Yeah, why don't you patiently
Get the fuck
walk
out of my
the
way.
door. The second reason this is not concerning is it would require Japanese government approval. Nintendo's endemic to the culture and the economy of Japan. There is like 1 in every 4th Japanese citizen has purchased a Switch. If you look at
I'm gonna get a better car
versus how many Switches have sold there, okay? That's very, very good for your market and your economy. So I don't think the Japanese government would be okay with that. Beyond that, regulatory bodies would have something to say here, both in the West and in the UK. Like, and they're not just going to sit idly by and say, oh yeah, go ahead, buy a direct competitor. There is a universe-sized difference between buying a developer or a publisher compared to buying a direct competitor, which is also an entire platform. Activision Blizzard has been long, it's been arduous enough. I don't think they would want to go for Nintendo anytime soon, even if they
killed
did.
these guys
I think it would be
earlier.
blocked. Like across the board, if regulatory bodies are actually awake, they would say, no, this is not the same as buying assets to sell. You're buying your direct competitor.
This one looks nice.
Now let's consider why this is concerning, okay?
Get the fuck out the
pretty
car,
clear
bitch.
That Xbox's path to competing is heavily linked and grounded in consolidation. Nintendo is
Gotta
not
pay
the
toll
only
fees.
target
Holy
discussed in
shit, I'm
email.
sorry.
Yes, the email was
Ooh,
in
the trigger
2020,
feels weird on this.
and this
Oh
resulted in
shit, she
ZeniMax
flew up.
being purchased. Now,
I'm sorry
Activision
about that,
Blizzard
ma'am.
is basically clear for
Eluding the
takeoff,
chase.
right?
Fuck.
CMA just this morning announced their provisional approval. The appeal is essentially over. This seems to be in large part related to selling cloud rights to Ubisoft.
Don't worry.
That seems to have answered some of the CMA's
The trigger feels weird on this
company
car.
the size of Microsoft, looking at the gaming market and saying, how much can we buy? How much can we consolidate? Right? This should be a worry for consumers. The amount of people who think Microsoft is being benevolent in these actions, you truly astound me. The people that think this, like it is.
Sorry, I can't chase.
Out of
I'm
all
busy.
the businesses in the world,
Fuck.
you think they're the benevolent one. Like, and you
Stop
can't
it.
have it both ways either. By the way, a lot of people hand wave this. It's like, that's just business. Business is cutthroat. Microsoft's ruthless. Well, then you can't argue that they're benevolent.
The fuck out of my way.
If they're cutthroat, if they're ruthless, if they're gonna do whatever it takes.
Oh,
to succeed,
sorry about that.
You really think they're benevolent to you? You think they're gonna buy Nintendo and it's gonna be altruistic? That they're gonna
Man,
seek
please
the
get off
good
my
of
car.
you, the consumer? Like, you can't argue in one breath that they're basically cutthroat pirates, and in the next breath act like there's some benevolent god that's gonna buy all this stuff and just give it to everybody for nothing. Companies of this size do not spend this kind of money because they like you. This is their business model. Outspend, gobble up, shrink the competition.
Get the fuck out the car.
These are
Bitch,
actions that
get out.
never benefit the consumer. Study any
I'm out.
basic economics textbook. This is not good for you. Never has been, never will be. Any student of history will tell you that Microsoft's approach to break into gaming, it's antithetical to consumer choice. Look at Embracer Group right now as a cautionary tale. Studios facing layoffs, potential studio foreclosure, being sold off. How
Oh
many
my
games and
fucking
IPs
God.
are completely frozen right now because of what's going on with Embracer? This is evidently going to lead to more layoffs because if they do sell off some of these assets and companies, whoever buys them will probably want to recoup.
I thought that was a ladder.
Microsoft
Fuck.
simply is not going to spend this level of capital on Activision Blizzard
Oh,
and not
loot.
immediately take actions to recoup costs by downsizing or even killing
Jump.
studios.
What
in
the
process.
bro? Grab the ledge.
Beyond that, just think about what Phil Spencer said.
What the
His
fuck?
outlook is that it would be a career.
Why is he
moment
not grabbing
to
the
achieve
fucking ledge?
Monopolistic behavior. That's
Oh, they
how
left?
he sees gaming and the gaming market. Buying an entire platform, buying a
See ya,
direct
boys.
competitor. That's a career moment for him. It's honestly even more baffling, I think, and concerning, seeing pundits and supposed journalists acting like this is no big deal. Imagine any other sector of the global economy having such blatant bias within its reporting. Hand-waving, ignoring, brushing this under the rug, talking about, look at all the games that got leaked. What about the CEO of Xbox saying it would be a career moment to achieve a monopolistic merger? What about that?
Excuse me.
You're not going to talk about that? Like, this has to be one of the single and most clearest pieces of evidence that we do not have a proper gaming journalist standard. The same outlets and the folks who have cheered for the Activision deal would likely do the same if Nintendo was on the docket. And that's when you know you are not dealing with somebody who cares about the market or the consumer, they care about a brand. And that level of allegiance is scary because it's almost cult-like. Anyone who doesn't take Xbox seriously continues to ignore the man behind the curtain, Microsoft. They are not a company to ignore. Once companies reach the size of Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, they should be watched with a skeptical eye, not blind faith and just blind support. If you just rank by market cap, Microsoft is either second or third. They're behind Apple and Saudi Arabian oil. Okay, that's the company that you think is benevolent. So, could Microsoft buy Nintendo? Well, I sure hope not. Because
Ooh,
consumers are
fucking
better
Batmobile
off
out here.
with choice. And listen, if we don't pay attention, Microsoft will do what they did with Windows and Microsoft Office. They will eliminate your choices. And that is not a future of gaming that I want to see, and neither should you. So let me give you my thoughts and my conclusion here. The Xbox leaks have been eye-opening for some, okay? Others are simply shrugging this off and saying, that's just capitalism, baby. Such an intellectual argument. But some of these emails and leaks are vindicating, and they're confirming of so much of what some of us have said. And the sad reality is, it doesn't matter what we learn or see. Many will justify, hand wave, or simply say, well, you would support it if Sony did it. No, I wouldn't. I've said many times I do not want major players buying up the market like this. Apple, Amazon, Google, Tencent, they are probably chomping at the bit right now, waiting for the Activision deal to close. And Embracer Group could literally be just freeing up funds to make their own purchases. Their layoffs, their downsizing,
Oh, hold on, wait. I don't think I remember all this. But going inside the little guided tour.
Okay, sure. I'll go after you, Missing Wheels.
I'm pleased to hear it. I shall send you the coordinates of their last known locations. You must simply deactivate each. I'll then re-establish the link and return them to my garage.
See what I can do.
Delamain vehicles are exceptionally secure. Be sure to have a scanner with decryption capability on your person.
Got you. Take the scanner. Let's go. Where's my car at, Delamain?
Back to our chat. V.
Yeah, I know. Heard about you. Heard you're home.
How the fuck do I get my car back? Delamain, you piece of shit. Keep busy while you wait for the car to be repaired. Okay. Okay. In the meantime, let's do some shit around the city. Let's go back. We started over in Watson. That's where my apartment's at. Let's teleport over there. Let's check this out, see if we can find anything on the way. Ooh, cop car? Anybody in there?
Commencing area search.
I'm out! I took their car. Nice. Ride's smooth, too. Fucking dumbasses. Just had to distract them with a light. Let's go. How you doing, officer? You need a ride? That's an ugly fucking horn. Watch out, pull over. Pull over, bitch. I'm the cops. Fucking piece of shit. Excuse me. Oh, what the fuck? How'd you go through that guy? Jesus Christ. Cyberbug 2077. Still buggy as fuck, but at least... Oh shit! What the fuck is going on? Jesus Christ. The city's into chaos. We're boosting it. Punch it. Hold on, I gotta hit that brake. Hold on, just a little. Gotta go down there. What's down there? It's through here? Oh, down here. What up, bitch?
Hey. Here you go.
That's right. What the fuck I thought.
Get you anything? No. This trouble?
Oh, Rogue.
You won't. You know it. I lost everything.
Pan Am.
You lane again. Solve your own problems. Clean your level. Go fuck yourself. Be careful if you bargain.
And seeking to sell studios, that could be quite literally to free up funds, so they could make some of their own purchases. Now, none of this helps the market. None of this helps the consumer. And yet, consumers cheer for this loudly. The second thing I want to say is, the truly shocking thing about these leaks was not the leaks themselves. It was people acting like Microsoft owning Nintendo would be good for us. More games in more places has become a one-size-fits-all ideology. Just let Microsoft buy Nintendo, let them buy Sony, and let them buy Steam, right? According to your logic, well, Xbox is this benevolent god of gaming. They're going to put games everywhere for the good of gamers. The amount of trust that people have in the assumed goodness of Xbox is more scary than any email Phil can send. My conclusion is this. If there's a silver lining to the Xbox leaks, it isn't just being able to make content and have discussions and to tweet about it. It's the market and the globe getting a clear picture at what Microsoft wants to do to gaming. Hopefully both the regulators and companies like Nintendo are seeing things even more clearly now. The share buybacks are a sign that Nintendo may have sensed that something was afoot. Maybe not, it could have been unrelated. But now, we all see with eyes wide open. The truth is, out now in view of the public, Xbox wants Nintendo, and they are willing to play the long game to get them. And that is something that I hope we never see happen. Not just for Nintendo's sake, not just for your sake, but for all of our sake. And that's the show open. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you push the like button. Make sure you consider doing all of the things that supports the channel. I really, really greatly appreciate it. We sat on this one because I really felt that this was the one I needed to stew on it for a few days to really get my thoughts in order, and I appreciate you guys supporting the channel all week as we discuss other things. Even Cyberpunk got its own day yesterday, and now today we're circling back to these Nintendo leaks, and it was a little chilly this morning, and I had my like Puma jacket on, and now I'm getting warm. We got to take this off. So thank you guys so much for being here. Let me check. I've got some things to thank here. We got Leo Merzes is VIP, upgraded to VIP. My man Ginger Prime with 24 months. 24 months. This is 2 years. Boom, baby. Techno Tyrant jumps back in at a member plus and says Valve is off the table to Microsoft. It's privately held.
It's my shit now.
PC digital platform. No one but Gabe knows the value of Valve, and he hates Microsoft. Well, hopefully, whoever replaces Gabe when he finally retires, he's got somebody to protect Valve. And a 10 bomb comes in from Behemoth. And don't forget, Han shot first, and so did you. Thank you so much. That is the first gifted member of the day. Thank you very, very much for
Sorry about that, ma'am.
doing that. Let me update the member goal and count right now to 10. And that's not going away for some reason. So give me 1 second here. I think I double pressed it. And now there we go. There we go. Get out of here. We want to see Han Solo is who we want to see. There we go. There's Han Solo. Thank you so much. Gabe's not the only owner of Valve. Is that your soccer coach jacket? I'm going to wear that when it gets colder. Yeah. I have matching pants and everything. I'm going to be so cliche. It's going to be wonderful. The Great Reset with a $5 super chat says, Nintendo pioneered the modern gaming landscape. Phil acting like he knows this industry better than Nintendo is arrogant and disrespectful. I got to tell you, Nintendo is Japanese owned and operated, and an honor-shame culture. I don't think they're going to take too kindly to somebody saying, well, I know better than them. They don't really realize what their future is. I know what their future is. Like I said, I would have walked him out of the door. I'd be like, we don't really need to talk to you anymore. We see how you view us. You see us as a juicy asset that you're just waiting to scoop up when the opportunity strikes. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We've been nice talking to you. Not to mention, if Nintendo wants to branch out into mobile, cloud, or PC, they don't need Microsoft to do that. They don't. You think Nintendo needs help with that? They could literally talk to anybody. They could talk to any porting company. They could talk to Valve. Do you think Valve would be like reticent to help Nintendo bring games to Valve? Like, come on, man. Nintendo has their own developers, by the way.
Where'd the kitty go?
Figure out how to build a game or port a game to PC. They'd be like, we just don't know how to do this. We need Microsoft after all, because, you know, Microsoft's known for great, you know, game and development right now. Come on. Grady upgrades to Member Plus. Thank you so much. Phil having no idea what he's doing. LOL. Microsoft should run for president. In 1999, Nintendo laughed Microsoft out of the office when they attempted to try and take them over. We see what your future is, Phil. It's last place all over. F off, Phil. Please stop. I don't get enough thoughts that make me depressed. A 20 bomb! A big one comes in. 20 members. That is also the
upgrade
Agents
to
of
tier
Chaos.
1.
You're pushing us past the goal. 30 members. And that's honestly, that's everything. That's also a layup. That's a layup. The 20 bomb will put us all the way to 50. Behemoth says, I love the chat and the amazing energy. Thank you, Behemoth, for absolutely just dropping bombs on chat today. Jez, are you watching the stream? Jez tweeted. He said yesterday, LOL, Xbox will shut down by 2027. Today, OMG, Xbox is a monopoly. Oh, he's watching the show. Jez, I like you. We had a cordial exchange. I've actually not said LOL Xbox will shut down. I said, according to Phil's own logic, they're going to have to make some pretty significant moves to grow Game Pass off of the actual Xbox. If not, according to Phil, they will shut down. They'll walk away from the business. I could see them turning into a publisher
Damn,
instead
that's
of a
fucking
platform
cool.
by that time, because if they get all these assets from ABK, they could say, listen to what Phil says. He's like, we need most of our customers to be off our own hardware, right? I've never once been like, LOL, they're going to shut down. I said they're going to have a hard decision to make if they don't get the growth that they want to get. And I'm also not today saying they're a monopoly. I'm saying the man at the helm thinks that a monopolistic merger would be a career moment for him. He thinks that he knows better than Nintendo. He's playing the long game to get Nintendo. Like, that should be concerning. You're like, well, that's fine. That's fine. We don't care about that. Like, imagine if anybody else said that. You know, imagine if Sony said that about Nintendo. You don't think people would be like, oh my gosh, Jim Ryan's out here thinking it'd be a career moment to have a monopolistic merger, go and buy a direct competitor. Are you kidding me? Victory with the 10 spot. The most egregious part of the leak is Phil blatantly asking friends to buy up shares of Nintendo so they can pull them together and push Nintendo to sell. That's illegal. Well, he didn't say that. He said that he was in touch with somebody who was. He said he was in touch with somebody who was. He's like, I'm in touch with this guy. He's acquiring. That might give us an opportunity. Like I said, Interstellar Kev with a $2 super chat tip. When Xbox dies, where do you see the industry going? I actually don't think Xbox dies. I think Xbox is going to morph into something that's no longer a console. Right? It would be a career-defining moment, but we also know if Sony hasn't said the same thing. I can tell you confidently.
Kind of
Sony
like
hasn't
this.
said the
It
same
take
thing,
longer to
because Sony
trace
would
my
never have the
location.
capital to buy Nintendo. It wouldn't even be feasible. Nintendo does not have. I'm sorry. Sony does not have the ability to spend that kind of money. There's only a handful of companies that could be saying this privately and have it being reasonable, and it ain't Sony. Sony does not have the ability to spend this kind of money. The ability to buy Nintendo would have to come from somebody of Microsoft's size. So an Amazon or a Google or an Apple. Sony is not big enough at all to do that. I guarantee you there's never been a single word of this uttered privately. Not to mention the pattern with PlayStation is to buy smaller studios that they're already working with. Why? It's a lot more affordable and it's a lot more symbiotic. Instead of, well, it's just buy Nintendo. What? What do you mean? Like, we can't even afford that. Almost 800 viewers. Bro, drop the best opener. Get the likes up. Thank you, Brown Excellence, for 8 months of membership. Thank you so much. The history between Sony and Nintendo and the absence of funds makes it not possible. Yeah, they wouldn't even consider it. Like, they wouldn't even consider it. What about Sony? Is gaming culture 101? That's what I'm saying. Like, come on. Come on, Ginger. Come on. Ginger, you were on Twitter, and you were saying, because you retweeted my tweet, and you said that, this would, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I don't know exactly what you said, so I'm going to paraphrase. Because I said, I can't wait for the consolidation cheerleaders to act like this is not a big deal, right? More games in more places. You seem to think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to straw man here. You seem to think that if Microsoft bought Nintendo, it would be better because all of a sudden their games would be in more places, right? As long as you get Mario on PC, you're good. And I'm like, are you nuts? Are you nuts? A monopolistic merger's okay because you can play Mario on PC? You're crazy. You're a crazy redhead, all right? I've heard redheads are crazy, Ginger, but you're a crazy redhead if you think that, brother. There's no freaking way. There's no way. 10 spot from Gonter O'Dim. It's internal communique. Sony Entertainment isn't really that much better. They're publicly traded companies, so they answer to shareholders. Sony has its own issues, too, to put things into context. We're not talking about Sony. I swear, Phil Spencer could send an email that says, I think tomorrow I'm going to sacrifice at least 4 cats to Odin. And you'd be like, yeah, but I think Jim Ryan probably worships Zeus. Like, it just doesn't freaking matter what we find, what is said. It doesn't matter. We always run to Sony. Joker Quinn with a single gifted member, pushing us to 31 members on the day. Thank you so much, Joker Quinn. And B-Rex Media with a 6-month resub. Nintendo and Microsoft can't read. Nintendo, when Microsoft proposes an acquisition of them. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? What did Ginger say? Video games are natural monopolies? What does that even mean? What? What do you mean video games are natural monopolies? How? If I want Mario, I gotta go to Nintendo. If I want God of War, I gotta go to PlayStation. If I want Halo, I gotta go to PC or Xbox. Those are competitors with different products that I can go buy. And the value of those products tend to increase because they have to offer something that's compelling against the other guy. That's always better for me because they are forced to consider price and value offer. What's the Sony Mario? Probably God of War. Aloy's probably on the way of being that as well. Sony's got a handful of properties that are extremely iconic. I would actually say the biggest and most commercially successful piece of property now that Sony has would be Spider-Man, Natural Monopoly. What is the definition of monopoly? Derek says, we joke about being on the evil timeline now. Imagine if Microsoft actually bought the big Nintendo and how they would massacre the IPs. Mario Infinite, we'll put Yoshi in next year, maybe. I don't understand here saying they're natural monopolies. A monopoly is a multiplayer economics themed board game. So how is it a natural monopoly? How? We need a monopoly definition. It literally gave you the definition of the frickin' game, right?
Fine.
The exclusive possession or control of the supply of or trade in a commodity or service. So, what you're describing is one company owning all the video games. The commodity or the service is video games, right? Like the commodity or service of fast food cheeseburgers, and there's multiple places to go get fast food cheeseburgers. That's the commodity, that's the service, okay? A commodity or service would be, they're building a bunch of new car washes in my city, okay? That's a service. If there was one company that owned every single car washing service, that would be a monopoly. They own the service, okay? So owning the commodity, well, the commodity would be video games. See, you're inserting your own definition. The definition of monopoly is not the exclusive possession or control and supply or trade of an intellectual property. Like, that's not a monopoly. Why? Because every company does that. Every company has the rights and the distribution control and the selling control of their property, whether it's Mario or God of War or Halo. That is not what a monopoly is. That's property. A monopoly is defined by somebody owning all possession and control of the commodity or the service. Nobody has that right now. Nobody. And if Microsoft suddenly bought Nintendo, they would have a massive amount of control over the video game commodity market. Like, yeah, now we own almost all of it. The only thing we don't have now is Sony in the console space. That's it. We got it all except for Sony. Ratchet & Clank is Sony's Mario. I think commercially we would say Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is so incredible. The commodity is the IP. You're creating a categorical problem, Ginger, because now every single company is a monopoly. The Big Mac is a monopoly. It is. Every single Disney piece of property is now under threat of being considered a monopoly because they create the show and you can only get it on Disney+. Like, every single piece of IP owned, sold, and owning the distribution rights, whether it's, I mean, goodness gracious, like anything then is a monopoly. You're taking the definition and completely changing it, therefore making it irrelevant, because that makes every business in existence a monopoly. You don't need to agree, but we're seeing the addition of new ideas and investments with new handhelds supported by investments. It's not a matter of me not needing to agree. You are objectively wrong. There's no economist, there's nobody that would accept that definition that, well, that's a monopoly,
nice, got all the way down.
They own the right to sell the Big Mac. Well, that's a commodity because they own the rights to sell Halo. They own the rights to sell Mario. That's a monopoly. That means every company is a monopoly, which completely eradicates the definition of the word, because the definition of the word is designed to say, once you buy all the control of this service or commodity, that's a problem. You're wrong, but I love you. You've not falsified my claim. I falsified yours. Somebody arguing that every company is a monopoly, that's nonsensical. That means we don't have any categories then. You've just turned every business enterprise into a monopoly. I'm saying I'm saying video games like social media is a natural monopoly, and you supported your premise. So we have your premise. Your premise is video games are a natural monopoly. You supported your premise by saying, well, they own and control, let's just take Mario as a good example. Nintendo owns the distribution rights and the IP of Mario. You say, well, that's a natural monopoly. That means every single company is a monopoly then. They're all monopolies. Eugene says he's not even using the term correctly. He said, here's the definition of a natural monopoly. A natural monopoly is a type of monopoly in an industry or sector with high barriers to entry and startup costs that prevent any rivals from competing. There are what indie titles alone disprove the claim that video games are a natural monopoly. We've had absolutely explosive video games just this year. Just this year alone. I mean, you've got game companies with 2 or 3 employees hitting insane success rates. So, no, the barrier of entry into the video games market is not at all. It's not at all insane with startup costs that prevent rivals from entering. Now, if you want to talk about video game platforms, again, we have multiple. Ergo, it's not a natural monopoly because you've got Nintendo, you've got Microsoft, you've got Sony, you've even got handhelds entering the picture now with the Steam Deck and the Asus ROG Ally.
Fucking cops,
Indie
goddammit.
titles are everywhere. Are you sure about that? Ginger, how many indies are only on Steam? You've confirmed my point.
Asshole, I'm fucking blocking you.
Almost very
The
commonly
fuck is that?
on Steam, therefore not available on Nintendo, Sony, or Xbox. There's a sea, there's an ocean of games, indie titles that are only available on PC. I've not confirmed your point, I've weakened it. I've weakened your point. If anything, there is no large barrier of entry into video games. I'm refuting your use of the word natural monopoly, and now you're like, oh, you're proving my point. How? The ocean of indies that are on Steam, the explosion of indies within gaming disproves the claim that video games are a natural monopoly. So
I'll take
that
this one.
premise and claim has been falsified. Now
Get the
we're gonna
fuck
say
out of
that
here.
indie titles are everywhere. No, they're not. The grand majority
No,
of
no
indies
disturbance.
are only on Steam.
I'm out.
The grand majority of indies are only on Steam. Therefore,
Fuck.
indie titles are not facing a natural monopoly. They're entering the market just fine. I don't understand how what I just said is strengthening your case that video games are a natural monopoly. How? And then the success of indie titles, like Death's Door, for example, and now it's on every platform because they got the funding so they could support a port, basically. They brought Death's Door. It's like 2 guys. They had like 100,000 sales like the first
They give up?
So now the game's on other platforms.
Not yet.
I don't agree with at all. Like the use of natural monopoly has been, we've gone to the definition, so it's been a misused term. Even within its own term, it's been falsified by the sheer existence of indie titles. Beyond that, many indie titles are only on PC. They're playable in more places, and you don't need a Switch to play them.
Nice. Back off.
You've premise hopped on me too many times. I've lost the plot of what you're even arguing now. You're welcome to disagree. You've not even made a coherent point, my friend. First it was video games are a natural monopoly to support the idea that Microsoft should buy Nintendo. Doesn't that compound the premise that you're arguing? A premise that I think is faulty and unsubstantiated. But even if we take the premise at face value, doesn't that compound the very premise that you're arguing for? Well, they're a natural monopoly, so we should allow a company to buy a direct competitor? Would that not then compound the natural monopoly, making it even worse?
Wait, that's Rogue, isn't
There's
it?
no competition to Mario? Sure there is. There's other games to play. What do you mean? What do you mean there's no competition to Mario? How? There's other games to buy and play. There's no competition to the Big Mac. Sure there is. There's the Whopper. What are you saying?
A business opportunity. Cargo transport. Get from A to B, quick and quiet.
I'd love it if Nintendo started supporting more places. I would love that too, if it's their choice. I don't want them coerced into it through a monopolistic merger. I would love right now to be able to boot up Breath of the Wild on my PC legally. I don't want to talk to you thieves. I'm talking about, like, I would love to boot up Breath of the Wild on my PC legally. but I don't want the road to get there to be monopolistic consolidation. You're talking hamburgers, I'm talking games. Yes, because they're identical in essence. One company spends its own money, its own resources, its own research and development to make the best burger, the best game, and then you gotta go to them to buy it. Imagine that you do that, Ginger. Imagine you create something and it's yours. Like, I don't know, all of your YouTube content. And someone comes along and says, well, I shouldn't only have to come to your YouTube channel to watch this. It would be better for everybody if this content was everywhere. And they just stole your content and they put it everywhere. It was all over the place. They were
Oh, my
restreaming
cop
your
car's
stuff
still here.
on Kick
Nice.
and Twitch. They were re-uploading your stuff on Rumble. Would you be okay with that? They're not crediting you. They're not linking to you. They're just like, yeah, here's the content, and you get no money from it. They just steal it. Would you be okay with that? It's yours. You created it, and they just take it. They don't react to it or anything. They just re-upload it. They just replace your content elsewhere, which, if my memory is correct, you have a serious problem with reaction meta on YouTube because it essentially serves as a replacement to your content, therefore hurting your content, which means Mario only existing on Nintendo because they built it, they researched it, it's their property. They have every right to do that, right? They shouldn't be coerced or forced into having Mario be everywhere. If you want Mario, you gotta go to Nintendo. That to me, that's logical. That's the entire market of everything that's intellectual property. Hang on, I gotta interact with some more people here. Eugene says, there's no imperative legal or moral to compel Nintendo to allow Mario to be everywhere. Our legal system, in fact, protects Nintendo from having to do that. Right, so there's...
Oh, this guy.
There is no imperative here. That they do, that's not the argument I'm making. Okay, but the ends don't justify the means. That's the issue I have with what you're saying. Pragmatism can break your back if you stretch it too far. You're essentially saying the ideal is that Mario's everywhere, so I'd be okay with Microsoft buying Nintendo. Whoa, 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 what? No, we don't use the ends to justify the means. That is a fallacious way to argue for anything. You would never argue that. In child rearing, there are abhorrent practices by parents, and they get acquiescence and obedience. Does the obedient child, does the quiet, well-mannered, disciplined child, does that justify the means that got there? No. We would never argue that. That leads to abhorrent things and terrible things. And so we can't argue that. I would love for Mario to be on PC. It'd be great. I'd get better performance. I wouldn't have to worry about 30 FPS. It'd be awesome. I can't get there. Do you know what I don't do? I don't steal the games to play them on my PC. I don't justify theft because, like, well, the ideal is me getting to play the game on PC. And I would never justify a monopolistic merger so that, like, oh, I can get Mario on PC now. Good for me. No, that would be bad for the market. That would be bad for the consumer. I'm okay with it. I'm okay if it doesn't happen. In the end, I'm not worried one day or the other about
barely legal.
But I do like, and the reason why I make the case is, I wish I could set my own character limit on chat. It gets a conversation going, and maybe, just maybe, Nintendo goes, yeah, let's do this. My honest opinion on this, Ginger, and I think this is a more enjoyable discussion, I actually think Nintendo will start to do that, but it's not going to happen in the next generation of their console. I think Nintendo Switch, their market saturation gives them so much power, they will feel no need to do that. However, I can see a future where Sony is kind of laying the groundwork, because Sony and Nintendo have very much mimicked the idea of
where's my car?
Come to our hardware.
Keep
come
forgetting,
to our console for our stuff. So I could see Mario down the line. I could see a Mario.
Please get the fuck away from my car.
PC, because I see Nintendo compelled by the commercial advantage of that, but I don't see them going
Please.
to Microsoft for the solution. I don't think you would go to your direct competitor to say, hey, help us out here. This is why I decide to emulate any. If I decide to emulate any Zelda from Twilight Princess and
God
above,
damn it,
I won't
fucking
feel guilty.
Netrunner.
I bought those games. Right. If someone emulates a game that they own, I don't really have any qualms with that. It's the people that steal. It's like I don't justify that. I don't think that's okay. To literally steal video games because well, I don't want to buy a Switch. Well, then okay, like that's like saying I don't want to buy Disney Plus, so you steal all their property. Like where does it end? You're like, well, I don't feel like buying from that company or supporting that company, so I'm going to steal all the stuff that they have. It's like, what? Like I don't think that's justified at all. You need to demand from us as gamers to make this something worth the risk of doing it. And Ginger, that's a healthy economy. When consumer demand drives choice, not monopolistic mergers shrinking choice. Like that's the issue. Historically speaking, this level of a merger would be absolutely terrible for us. The idea that like, oh, we're gonna benefit from this. We're gonna get Nintendo games on PC. No, I think what you would do is you would see tectonic destruction of property. It wouldn't be good at all. You would see massive exodus of developers. You'd have tons of people that work for Nintendo and develop for Nintendo. They'd frickin' walk. They'd be like, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't want to work for that company. It would be horrible. I'm fine with emulation, but I wish Nintendo would just make it happen so I could support that action. But I'm 100% against theft. Aerodyma says, with our phones aggressively getting better every year, the Switch 2 will be obsolete by the time it comes out. Well, no, this isn't true according to the leaks. According to the leaks, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be quite impressive with DLSS. So no, I don't think so. You also have to understand something, Aerodymus. The Switch dominated with IP. It did not dominate with power. To posture as if Nintendo's in trouble if they don't have power is laughable in light of the current stats. Like Nintendo's like, you need power? That's funny. That's funny. We have something that's weaker than a cell phone. 129 million in sales. And you think we need power. Like, they're laughing at the notion. They're laughing at the notion. Nintendo's like, we don't need power. We have Mario. We have Pokemon. We have Zelda. You think we need power? Do you know who we are? Nintendo walks into any room and is like, say my name. Like, we're Nintendo, bro. We don't need power. We sold cardboard. Transmissions from a spaceboat with 21 months. Moot point. Ben Starr is buying Nintendo. Give me a piece of Kirby. He's so funny. I absolutely love that guy. What a treasure he is. Give me some Kirby. I told everybody I was going to do this. Big Lido is 6 months. Says whoop whoop. Thank you very much. Big Lido. Most importantly, they have a loyal customer base. You have to understand something, too. You have to understand something. Companies are motivated, as Ginger was saying, like, we have to demand this. You're working an uphill battle right now with Nintendo. There are, okay, so if you go, the Japanese population is currently estimated to be 125 million. They sold 30 million Nintendo Switches in Japan. Do a little quick math. That's like 1 in every 4th person in Japan has a Nintendo Switch. Now, what do you think happens to the demand for the Nintendo Switch 2 if they start putting their games everywhere? Do you see? They're not motivated by your ideology, your sense of entitlement. They're motivated by
I can sprint while shooting now. This is nice.
Like, oh, I missed the super chat. All right, hang on. Sorry.
Perfect.
Victory with a $10 super chat. Kicking it with Timmy B became a member. And, oh, DK Bager did a gifted member. I'm so sorry. DK Bager bumped the line to 32. Thank you very much, DK Bager. And let's see here. Thank you so much, Kicking It with Timmy B and B-Rex Media did a resub. And Victory with a 10 spot. People are so silly, but Sony would. It doesn't matter when they can't. I would date Beyonce. It doesn't matter when I can't. The concern trolling is nuts. What about what is happening in front of us? Thank you, Victory. 2 spot from Richard Rodriguez says, I'm sensing some sort of Apple-Sony partnership. I think Apple is focused on buying Disney right now more than anything. That's my guess. Thanks, Gonter O'Dim with a 5 spot. To re-expand on my earlier statement, these are publicly traded companies. They don't care about you or me besides the money they can extract. Thank you guys so much for all those super chats and for the gifted members. I owe you guys 5 members at the current junction.
Get the fuck out the car.
And thank you so much for already getting us there. Let me give you guys a member count, because currently the current goal is Fight Night, and if you guys can get to 3,000 members, you will unlock Fight Night. And that's when my wife and I play a game against each other, and that says 2,600. Let me why all of a sudden is this my experience
This is a nice truck.
on YouTube on my gaming rig? It flashes and I can't see the YouTube dashboard. It's super weird. We're at 2669, so you're 30 members away from 2,700. That would be like the
talk
next
to the
teeny
cops. There's a
milestone on the
quest
way
up
to
there.
Big ones.
Finally.
Thank you guys so much for making that happen. 30 members would get us even closer to you guys getting a Fight Night. I love Lono's view. It doesn't mean I'm in agreement with every aspect. I would say both he and I want a bright and awesome gaming future, but we have different views on a road to that future. I think Microsoft. Well, here's
Come on, get inside.
This is what I
Take
love.
the elevator.
This is my vision for a bright gaming future.
What the fuck are you guys? Whatever, I'm out.
Compelling Nintendo Switch 2 that can actually run games at good performance. A PlayStation 5 Pro, right? I want Xbox to actually enter. I want them to actually enter into the next gen landscape. I don't believe that they have. If all 3 of those companies were slamming out bangers like a Zelda at 60 FPS, you know, a Ghost of Tsushima 2 that's mind blowing, a Halo that's been rebooted by id Software. That's the bright gaming future I want to see. I feel like Microsoft's path is not one that leads to a bright future to us, because Microsoft's bright future is, we don't have games, let's just buy the ones that are already out there. That doesn't do anything for me. Those games are already coming to market. Like, if Microsoft would have spent $300 million to put Jedi Survivor on Game Pass, that doesn't do anything for me. The game's already coming to the market. In the grand scheme of the gaming future, saving me $60, oh, I didn't have to buy your game, that doesn't do any, that's not changing the landscape of gaming. It isn't. That game was already made. It was already coming. That's why I look at Microsoft and say, this doesn't do anything for me. You consolidating the market, massive mergers, that doesn't do anything for me. These studios already have property. They already have stuff in development. It's already coming to market. You shifting where it lands or how much it costs does nothing for me. This is a leisure market, and the average salary income of people who pump the most money into this market are over 100,000 income. So those people are not compelled by bargains and dollar menu gaming. They're not. And if you look at the stats on Steam and you look at how many games are sold and how many people play there, they're not going to be compelled by Game Pass either. The bargain bin approach, the subscription approach to gaming is not sticking. It's not working. It isn't. Dalton Russell with a single gift. I'm sorry, a single member.
Cops
That's
left.
just a brand new member. Welcome on in, Dalton.
Barry,
thank you very much.
Remembering that right?
Solemn says emulating a game that you own using the data contained in the specific copy is not illegal at all, nor unethical, nor stealing. That's the only legal way to. Yeah, we already said that. I don't have any issue with people emulating games they own. Theft is different than I own this. I'd rather play it on PC. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't care about that. I'm not gonna grandstand on that. You bought the game. Play it wherever the heck you want. I don't care. Twisted Sin with a 5 spot. Just to let people know, Nintendo
The fucking
and Sony and a ton
shithole.
of other game
Jesus
companies
Christ,
are
you gotta
protected
clean
under
this
law in
place
Japan.
up.
Microsoft can try, but will fail. Nintendo's actually not protected. Their
It's just sit on his
classification
table.
requires governmental approval, and they may or may not get it, but they're not protected. It just requires governmental approval. I don't think a Japanese government would approve it because Nintendo's too endemic to their culture. Yo, Parasito with a 10 bomb. Parasito's been bringing some heat lately with the gifteds, and he puts us on the doorstep of 50. Thank you so much, Parasito. I don't think the Japanese government would approve this. I don't. And I think the Japanese government and Nintendo need to read Phil's email and say, you're playing the long game, go ahead and try. It's not happening. You're not getting Nintendo. You're not. You want to play the long game because you think we need to put our games elsewhere and not our own hardware? Okay, well, we can do that without you. You think you're the only game in town? You're in third place. So I think we'll maybe go talk to Steam. We'll go talk to Valve if we need help bringing games to PC. We can go talk to porting companies if we want to port our games, or like if we want to launch mobile titles. We don't need Microsoft. Can you imagine being the industry leader? Like, you think McDonald's is going to go to Wendy's for tips on business? What are we even talking about here? My question is, how many more acquisitions will Xbox be allowed to make? I don't actually know. A 5 bomb from Hex. My man Hex puts us even closer to the doorstep of 50. It's been a while since we got into triple digits. You guys are already on the doorstep of 50 members today. Thank you so much, Hex. And a single from Lone Wolf. If I know Lone Wolf, I know what he's going to do. He's going to walk this to 50. He is going to walk this to 50, and then it's a race to the Agents of Chaos. We're at 49 out of 50. Wendy's is fire? Sure they are. There it is. I know Lone Wolf. I know this man. I know how he operates. There it is. 50 out of 50. Who is the Agent of Chaos? Somebody's going to steal it from Lone Wolf. Just watch. Just watch. Somebody's going to snake it. Yo, what's good? Spongeroth, how are you? Lone Wolf got it. Lone Wolf got it. He did. I don't know if anybody else was going for it, but there it is. The Agents of Chaos rolls it over to 51, and that takes us to 51 out of 75. Hang on, I'm having a problem here. I can't do this. Oh, I see what I did. 51 out of 75. And Rissick with the 50 bomb! Rissick brings the Death Star into frame. This man is insane. What is going on? We got a member train. I wasn't even looking at the chat. 50 from Rissick and a 5 bomb from Mike on to Mike. That takes us all the way to 101, but then 106 because Mike and a Mike is in a house. And Patrick does 1. And Triss does 1. And I Am Melee does 1. That is 109. I just said we've not had triple digits in a minute, and frickin' Rissick says, hold my beer. Well, it's a little early in the day, so maybe he says, hold my coffee. Thank you so much, Rissick. So many members in chat. Absolutely massive. I've not gotten to do that with Rissick's name. He's got such a good name. Rissick. Kale comes in. So many single gifteds coming in off of each other, taking us to 110 members on the day. Thank you so much, Kale. And a single from Joker Quinn. Thank you so much, Joker Quinn, for coming in and doing 1. We have a members train right now. We have 821 people here. If like half of you gifted a single member, we would blow the doors off the current goal. Yeah, Brooklyn Breed is saying upgrade to Member Plus. If you guys just got a gifted member, Siege Master gifts a 5 bomb, and that takes us to 116 members on the day. Thank you so much, Siege Master. There's 116 people that have memberships today. You can upgrade to Member Plus for $1. We have a $6 membership. What that does is that gets you out of the gifted member pool. We do a segment every day at the very end of the day called the Writer's Room. You get to be a part of the show planning of the next day. So the debrief that we do is for all members. That's after an upload. We didn't do an upload like the last 3 days because I was playing games instead. So you got 2 streams. So typically it's the morning show, then an upload, and then I debrief with all members. When all that's over, we do the Writer's Room. And the Writer's Room is for Member Plus and above. You get to be in the planning, the show planning room for the next day. AOZ with 14 months says, best show on YouTube. Can't wait for the VIP content later. That's right. You can also upgrade to VIP. That's for a once-a-week segment that we do on Fridays. Soul Train gifts a member, and Henry Heck gifts a member, and that takes us to 118 members on the day. Thank you guys so much. My super chat got lost in the member chain. Give me a second, Brett. I'll take care of you. Let's see here. Let me scroll up. Oh, it did. You got shoved all the way out. $5 from my man Brett. The real acquisition battle is for talent. And Xbox is bleeding talent. They'll spend their way right out of the industry at this rate. Thank you, Brett. I actually think that's one aspect of acquisition that we didn't really get to discuss. And acquisition drives talent away. That's one of my primary concerns, again, about Activision Blizzard. That's concerns I have about 343. I've got concerns about Bethesda. Like, you're going to drive talent away. A guy in the industry recently commented on this. He's like, devs like to sell games because they get a bonus. And when you're working under a Game Pass subscription model, like, what is Microsoft footing that bill? They footing the bonus bill? Luke of the Satanic Game Cat renews his membership, and Lone Wolf gifts a single member. And SSJ Gohan hit 16 months into VIP. Lone Wolf actually does 2 members, 2 singles, and he's setting up the 5-bomb layup. That's a layup from Lone Wolf. Thank you so much. 120 out of 125. Yeah, I love you too, Ginger. By the way, I watched your video. You tried to talk to that guy on Twitter Spaces or whatever. It was truly remarkable. Well, I don't want to get into it on here, but the level of restraint that you showed, I thought, was remarkable. I've always said this: rudeness is the weak man's imitation of strength, and I believe that was put on full display in your video. When someone is rude and abrasive, it is an imitation of strength, and I think restraint is a sign of true strength and self-control. And I thought it was a remarkable display.
Please get the fuck out of my car.
Of wisdom and self-control and restraint, and a man of childish, extended adolescent, faux masculine behavior. So, yeah.
Bro.
I don't want to make the show about
Come
it, but I do
on.
want to give a little hat tip to you.
Thank
and
you.
a 10-bomb from Detective Seeds. He comes in and says, well, you know what? 125's nice, but 130's better, and that makes you the Agent of Chaos. You pushed us past 125, making the next goal 150. Thank you so much. That's actually also a layup, because that's a 20-bomb layup right there. That's an easy point that Detective Seeds just scored. And Bajanga just upgraded to VIP. Thank you for doing that, Bajanga. You have to call out Ginger for his joke? I do? That's weird. It's really weird to think that I have to call out somebody for a joke. What's that meme where Captain America goes, no, I don't think I will. Yeah, that's the energy I'm feeling right now. Call out his joke. Nah. The Death Star one. Popping was sweet. Yeah. The 50 bomb, the Death Star. That was Creature's idea. That was all Creature. He's like, I think the 50 bomb is the Death Star. I'm like, I dig it. Let's do it. So, yeah, but we were just kind of touching on this. I got to schedule the stream. I'm going to have a discussion with Mike. If you guys have been heavily interested in all these Xbox leaks, fear not. I'm going to do a recap. I am going to do a recap of all of these leaks with Mike in just a second here. And we will be discussing all of the leaks, right?
Plan, but thanks, noted.
Yeah, I got it. I took care of it. Thank you, Abe. We will be going through all the leaks. There was the leaks about the hardware. There was the leaks about the Game Pass stuff, and there was all of that. So we're gonna be going over all that together. That was my idea.
Get the fuck out of my car, you children. What are you doing?
Discussing it, I told you that I wanted like Senua and Jin because I like wrote them all on the board. Like the Death Star was you, but I remember I threw out Senua, I threw out Jin, and then you thought, oh, who's the really hard boss in Sekiro? And I was like, oh yeah, Ishin, let's do Ishin. it was a collaborative effort, but I thought of Senua and Jin. You were definitely the one that was like, dude, we got to do Death Star for 50, and I was like, okay, let's do it. The Dizzle does a VIP renewal. Thank you very much. I'm kidding, streamer. I can't ever tell. Okay, let me schedule the stream. Lisa semi-confirmed that Oblivion will get a remaster. That's good news. I don't know how I feel about that. In my mind,
You really gotta keep yelling like that.
and obviously I don't want to create a false binary. I think a lot of times, streamers create false binaries where they're like, well, if they're working on an Oblivion remake, they're not working on anything else. No, that's a false binary. They can do both. But I kind of trend toward a false binary. It's like, do I really want Bethesda working on old game remakes? I'd rather have them working on the next big game. I would love a great quality of life pass to Starfield. Like, I don't know. A lot of the guys in the modding community have already done things to Starfield that make the game look
How the
stunning.
fuck did that guy fall?
I don't know. I try not to fall
He just
into
crumbled.
the false dichotomy of, why work on a remake, work on your current game, or why work on a remake, work on a new game. I know they have different studios and different teams, but that's just where my mind goes. Like, my mind is just like, really? That's what we're going to celebrate? You bought Bethesda and that's the game plan? Like, after all the memes of them completely, over milking the Skyrim cow, like, this is what we're going to do? Like,
Did my car stall?
I know devs can do two things at one time, like Ginger's saying, but track with me here.
No,
What
it's
if they
just
were
the
working on,
wall.
like, a new game and another new game and another new game? I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, there was a recently, I think, really insightful paragraph about this where they talked about, like, studios and publishers are risk averse, so like it makes perfectly good sense to be like, hey, we've got to put ourselves in positions where we can kind of count on existing IP. Got to milk something that's got that nostalgic factor. Akuda Papa with 24
I'll take
months,
care of that.
2 years in this channel. It's a VIP and a red badge. And Richard Rodriguez gifts
It's right
member,
here?
and it goes to 131. Thank you so much, Richard. Let me give you guys a total member count. Let's see how close you guys are to Fight Night. We probably need to upgrade this count here. Yes, I'm going to give you an active count. I don't always do this, but you are now at 2768. That's how close you are to the 3,000 goal. Once you hit 3,000 in the month, the next one's Fright Night, where my wife and I have to play a scary game, and then the big one is 4,000 for a game night, where my wife and I will play a game with you guys. There's so many games to choose from. So you guys are really, really pushing already. This has been great.
How the fuck did I get hurt? That's like a cloth thingy, right?
See here. Hang on. Okay, it's ready. Okay. And a single gifted member from Rodrigo. Thank you so much, man. Taking us to 132 members on the day. Almost getting that 150. What's the joke that... Oh, this guy keeps bringing up the joke. Let's see when he made his channel. Hang on a minute. He made his channel in March of this year. Man, I tell you what, dude. Tell you what. If Ginger's joke is that upsetting for you, you need to find the nearest preschool or soft room so you can live in a very safe, comfy, cozy environment. This channel on the internet's not safe for you, so that's my life advice to you. If stand-up comedy is that upsetting. But it's time to move into to a preschool or a soft place, somewhere where they only play with, like, colored blocks and nothing too upsetting. We don't want anything too upsetting for you. Yo, Duck! It's 2 months of membership. Love the streams. Keep up the good work. And Mackie gives a single member. Thank you so much, Mackie, coming in and taking us to 133. It was one of Ginger's stand-ups. Yeah. Ginger made a joke about you like your kids the more they're far away from you. Which is actually kind of funny as a dad. You love your kids. It's easier to like them more the further they are away from you. I thought it's a as a dad, I'm like, yeah, man. I don't know, kids can be annoying. Kids can be annoying, bro. Yo, Mackie, upgrades to Member Plus. Thank you so much, Mackie. New Member Plus, you love to see it.
Damn, this is so...
DK Baker comes in with a single gifted member and bumps the line to 134. You guys love to go crazy on Friday. It must be payday. It must be payday. Y'all love to go big on Friday. I'm over here trying to get into this stream with Mike with 30 and Still Gaming. That was the joke. Well, the joke was he tacked on to it, Eugene. He says you like your kids the further they are away from you. And then he makes a joke about minorities in your neighborhood. Like, it's the most harmless joke ever. It's so harmless. It's like, there are people with Netflix specials that go way further than that. It was so harmless. It was like, what? Is this really the joke? This is the one? I was like, all right, this is the joke. This is the career-ending moment for Ginger. I was like, where are we? What year is it? Goodness gracious. Let's go here.
That's better.
Cyberpunk's quest director says that Phantom Liberty is what the game was supposed to be.
And they're selling it for extra money. Nice.
Yo, Zinthos with another gifted. I'm trying to get things set up to pull Mike in.
Loud and clear, you don't even yell. What's
35. Thank you very much. Yeah, he goes on to make his own self-deprecating joke about gingerification because he's a ginger. Like, it's I'm telling you, it's so harmless. Gosh, if it was any more harmless, it would be a knock-knock joke. Sure. I'm serious. If it was any more harmless, it would be a knock-knock joke. All right, hang on. I gotta switch this around so that I can hear Mike. Mike, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. I don't have my... I was actually playing video games. I know that's hard to believe. What? Yeah, I know. It's like, why would I do that?
I didn't know this was a gaming channel.
Don't switch. And is it using this mic?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Say something? No. Oh, it is. Yeah. When you did that with your... I didn't hear the finger, but I heard your mouth. Yeah. I can hear
Okay. I'll do the whole show like that. Make everybody really uncomfortable. Well, no, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. It's like 2 years, I'll see a twit longer. Goodness gracious. Can't have that.
I get offended, yeah.
Oh boy! All right, let's keep the goal up here for you guys to see.
Unlocks the ability to dash. I already have that.
In the next stream. What happened with the CMA? Oh, they did a provisional approval, so I thought they would once they sold the cloud rights to Ubisoft. So I already had a Nintendo show written up. I was like, okay, cool, good job. We knew it was going to get approved. Like, I wasn't shocked. I've been saying for a while that, you know, this deal's going through.
Looks like a better dash.
I get really uncomfortable.
Next level,
like
we
the
get
walls
it.
are closing in on you. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like some ASMR, but it can't be like somebody that I know. It's like.
Can you imagine though? Like you talk about a topic that's really like gets you angry, but you're like whispering at it. You're like, God damn it.
Or as I get more angry, as I get more angry, the quieter I get. It's like,
yeah, they're like, what's going on?
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Like, oh my God.
That would be a really funny skit to be like, listen, man, you're really agitating me.
Yeah.
Like, also, I can't hear what you're saying. That makes them
like,
more angry.
Like they're turning it up the thing really loud.
Oh, that's good. Okay, Cristiano upgraded to a VIP, and Brian M hits 8 months. Tap your mic to see if it's operable. Yeah, I'm not gonna tap mic. I was tapping the mic. What's going on here? Why can't I find you on Twitter? What is this?
Find me on Twitter?
It's just 30 and still gaming, right?
Yeah.
You know how it has like the pop-up?
Yeah.
It like pre-populates?
It probably doesn't show up because I barely ever use Twitter. So it's like, is this guy still on Twitter? I don't know. I mean, I still call it Twitter, so.
Oh, I'm dumb.
I just followed you and it's still not populated. Because I'm using my Reforged Gaming account. I follow you on the other one. Oh well.
Oh, I hate ASMR eating. It's the worst. It is the worst.
Oh, mukbang? Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, I go right through the curtain. God damn it. I wouldn't even be able to walk across it. Never mind. Alright, the curtains don't do anything in this game.
I'm gonna turn.
Hey, you can't find me on Twitter because it's X now. That's right. You're on the wrong website.
You know, I actually don't know what's more annoying. Is it the fact that people call it X and or is it that they correct me and say that it's X? I've not been able to decide which one.
Is the X silent?
That's not funny.
Is that not how it works?
But it's funny.
That's not how it works?
I don't know why.
Fuck me.
You are so serious.
That's what makes it funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's what makes it funny.
That I should not be laughing at that. That's not that funny. Oh man. Ask Elon. You know. Is the X silent? What? What? We just live in a circus of a timeline. Goodness gracious.
This is actually, you know that particle accelerator they made like a couple years ago, like a decade ago, I guess it is now, where they can make atoms. I think something went off and it actually changed the universe that we're in. I do.
Yeah, we're on a different timeline. This is not where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, do me a favor. We're actually going to switch streams. If you've not pressed the like button yet, could you do that? There's over 700 of you here. Get us to 400 likes. Then we're going to switch to a new stream, which also needs your likes. Like a lot of the times when we go over to the stream with Mike, we're like struggling to get likes. So consider that whenever we go over and do these streams, it's actually a second stream and it needs those likes, okay? Hang on, I gotta pull up in my own streams because I don't even remember what we talked about this week. That's what we're recapping. I'm like, huh? Okay. And we're also going to redirect. If you guys want to go over now, if redirects typically don't work, there's a link in chat. It'll also be the featured video on the channel, okay? It will be the featured video on the channel. We're going to have a discussion about all of the leaks. Thanks so much for checking out a weekly segment that I do with my man 30 and Still Gaming, and we got a whole lot to recap and cover this week in the Reforged Recap. Sometimes the title and thumbnail will say Reforged Recap, but this week we're not covering a bunch of different gaming topics. We're just going to be covering all of the Xbox leaks. I broke it into 3 sections throughout the week. I covered the hardware leaks first, then the stuff about Game Pass, and then just this morning we talked about how they still want Mario. Now we're going to pepper in here the fact that the CMA has provisionally approved the Activision deal. Seems that selling the cloud rights to Ubisoft has helped. So I'm going to end the previous stream about Nintendo and bring everybody over with a redirect. Make sure when you guys come over you smash like on the previous video as well.
An argument to be made for the parry window to be extended just a hair, especially when some red attacks are disproportionately punishing for how quickly they can come out. And
Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay.
That shit looks so fun.
Damn.
Hello everyone, I'm Hideaki Itsuno, the director of Dragon's Dogma 2.
What happened, Barry killed himself?
Dragon's Dogma 2 is a narrative-driven action RPG set in an immersive fantasy world designed
I need to play the first one before this shit comes out. Do they have a date for this yet?
to place player choice at the heart of the gameplay experience. The action gameplay is designed to challenge your creativity, and although this is a single-player adventure, AI-controlled companions will accompany you throughout the experience. Today, I'd like to show you a little of what you can expect from the world of Dragon's Dogma 2 with this new gameplay.
Yeah, leave him alone.
In Dragon's Dogma 2, up to 3...
I love how it's got this Fellowship of the Ring vibe.
I should kill you.
Where you're always traveling with a bunch of other people.
Barry's fucked.
AI-controlled beings called pawns can join you on your adventures. Players can choose from 4 starting vocations that determine how they will play.
I want to say also, like, you know how I know that this game isn't fucking around? It's because they have a cat girl race, and they're not dressed like they're in an OnlyFans advertisement. Like, they're actually cat people. They're not like hot girls with cat ears. Bro, that means that you're in it for a fucking fantasy story. You're not in it for some kind of weeb, simp farming, skin selling, fucking bullshit.
Of course, you will be able to change your vocation at any time by visiting Vocation Guild.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wow, they really mean business.
Let's look at the fighter vocation.
Okay, that's what matters. But do they have a two-handed sword, like a big great sword?
Wielding a one-handed sword and shield, the fighter excels in melee combat.
See that parry?
As a fighter, you can cut down enemies with a sword and protect yourself and your
I'm
party
actually so glad they have somebody who's like playing the game who actually knows what the fuck they're doing.
using your shield. As we keep going, we can see some harpies in the distance. As an archer, you'll be better suited to take down enemies above you.
That's cool.
Let's see what they can do. The archer is a vocation that uses a bow and arrow to attack enemies from a distance.
Okay. Sure.
Make full use of your arsenal, including exploding or blinding arrows. You can
I saw somebody floating around and I was like, wait a minute, is this Starfield? And then I remembered that, no, that makes sense because it's like a mage. I'm going to move this up, by the way, just a little bit so y'all can read the whole thing.
So aim at your enemies like a third-person shooter. The monsters of Dragon's Dogma 2
like
behave
Fortnite.
organically in
like
the world
Fortnite.
around them, and will even react
Where the
to
fuck is my
players
target?
using their wits against you. Next, I would like to show you the mage in action.
Okay.
Mages excel at long
This shooting range fucking sucks, Wilson. You gotta upgrade your shit.
Bolster your party with various enchantments to give allies an advantage in battle. The more advanced and powerful the magic is, the longer the incantation will take.
These mage spells don't really seem super exciting to me. Oh, that was kind of cool. Let's watch that again. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that was cool. Cool. Let's watch that again. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the game looks cool, man. Nice powers, attacks, the combat, the magic, even the arrow guy. I thought he looked kind of boring at first, but it's just something about the ranged combat just looks nice and satisfying. Just sniping the birds out the air.
Just climb over the rock. Oh, that's not a rock.
Man, that's a good looking ogre too.
Let's take a look at the thief.
Oh my god.
As a thief, you use daggers to strike at your enemies, relying on agility and quick attacks. Use swift step to quickly move away from enemies after an attack.
Okay, so you can dodge.
The key strategy for the thief against massive monsters is to find openings
Stab his
and
ass,
lean on
yeah.
to deal damage.
Yeah, he likes that.
Cool.
Yeah.
On is always an option, but it's a good idea to utilize the environment around you while engaging with enemies.
Well, that's badass. Holy shit.
Between your chosen vocation, diverse
no
terrain,
way you're gonna cut his legs and have him fall back.
And the particular monster you're up against, each encounter challenges players and their party to use their creativity to succeed.
What?
Two nations
I got a sniper?
Badass.
Prosper in the world of Dragon's Dogma 2. Vermin.
Oh, like this game looks amazing. I love the, I think this is what I like to see, right? I mean, you make a game like this, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
And Batal, the land of beasts.
I like the katana better. I don't like the hammer. Attack's too slow.
The Arisen who slay the dragon have ruled as kings for generations.
Is it on Steam?
This land of lush meadows and rolling hills is ripe for exploration.
Good on stamina too.
In contrast, Batal is a rugged canyon nation.
Man, where the fuck is my car, Delaman? I'm trying to drive around Night City.
It is home to the Beastren and their unique culture.
Man fucked my car up.
Batal offers
Never got back to me.
Experience from the human kingdom, with diverse environments to explore and monsters to encounter.
Just a minute. So, like, which one is it? Is it this one here? This Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen?
Fucking Delaman, man. Give me my fucking car back.
A different experience from the human kingdom, with diverse
It's
environments.
$5, bro. It's literally, yo, guys, look.
Let me just do some fucking main quest. Obviously, there's some kind of like, I don't know, barrier or some shit.
Guys. It's normally, what, 30 bucks? Now it's $5. It's an old game, though? Yeah, well, if you haven't played it, it's a new game. Isn't that crazy? Like, I never played, Metroid, Super Metroid. Whenever I play it, it'll be a new game for me.
Batal offers players a different experience from the human kingdom, with diverse environments to explore and monsters to encounter.
I feel like I need to start paying a lot more attention to what Capcom makes.
In your adventures, you might come across people who call out to you.
Have you some business with the apothecary, sir?
Other times, you might receive quests from people who you aid.
Monster Hunter?
Thought I'd never make it. Time might
Now Tectone wants me to play Monster Hunter.
Would you be willing to accompany me to the cenotaph and safeguard me from harm?
Can I skip this elevator ride? God damn.
May be able to guide you
Shit's
to the
bad
right
long.
location, but it is up to the player
I got to see the
decide
beautiful,
whether to follow
shitty
them or
rooftops of
not.
Night
Support
City.
you throughout your adventures and may come to your aid when you are in trouble.
Like, they gotta come to... That's so cool. Holy shit. Wow.
To complete your quest,
Dude, look at
you can
that. Hold up.
and may
Hold
come to
up.
your aid when you are in trouble.
That is clean.
To complete your quest, you can ride ox carts to travel to major locations.
Oh,
But
this
be
is like that one
aware,
part of
as you
Skyrim.
might get attacked en route to your destination
part I
and
played.
have to decide how to tackle the situation. During the ride, you can choose to close your eyes to quickly arrive at your destination.
Right.
Time is ever passing, even while riding an ox cart, and the environment around the player constantly changes. Nighttime.
I really feel like this.
I thought I selected Takamura's quest.
Like if this game
Yeah, give me that.
is what I hope
God
it's
damn
gonna
it.
be. Like every time I see this game, I
Let me
hope
get a
that
tarot
one
card
day
while
I
I'm
get a
out
game
here.
like this where all of those people are real players, you know? Like that's what I've always wanted.
Time is especially dangerous.
This is incredible. I love this.
With no
Give me your
light to
fucking
illuminate
truck.
your surroundings, you
Shut
will
up.
be enveloped in pitch black darkness where you can't even see your feet. Also, there are dangerous monsters.
Yep,
that
he
only
hit you.
appear at
He
night,
pushed you into
so
me.
You need to be careful when adventuring in the dark. If you have a camping kit, you can find a campsite to spend the night and recover your health.
Wow.
Damn, this thing controls kind of nice.
This game isn't co-op at all, right? Is the first game co-op? I think I've asked this like 5 times. Is the first game co-op?
Good evening.
Smash it. Get on this freeway.
It is the honor of my life to
Ooh! Alright.
To wrap up, I'd like to introduce some advanced vocations that become available as you progress in the story.
Magic Archer, that's cool.
The Mystic Spear Hand
Wakando.
combines magic attacks and weapon-based physical attacks. A good all-rounder, they use their dual spear at close range and magic at long range.
That's really cool.
They can also use magic to block an enemy's movement or throw multiple items at once.
I love seeing the
Chet.
old style chimeras.
Meant to climb the
You know,
ladder.
'cause, like a lot of games from like back in the day had chimeras that looked like this, with like a goat head, especially like a lion head with like a snake tail and stuff like this. I remember Gauntlet had this. I love this. It's very nostalgic for me.
The Magic Archer is a vocation
Oh.
that further specializes in long-range attacks with magical arrows. On top of healing and providing support to your allies, they can learn a skill that releases a powerful attack over a wide area in exchange for reducing their own maximum HP. And of course, there are other unique vocations you can look forward to. We have a playable
You can
version of
shoot a
Dragon's
fire
Dogma 2 at the Tokyo Game Show Capcom booth. Depending on the choices they make, each player can experience very different playthroughs.
Wow.
We're very much looking forward to the impressions of those who get a chance to play. Dragon's Dogma 2 is being developed for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Steam. Please stay tuned for more information. Thank you.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yes. There it is. There we go, boys. Holy shit, look at this.
That game looks so good!
Unironically, this might be the game that I'm the most excited for.
Man, with games like this, games like Baldur's Gate and Cyberpunk 77, I'm so disappointed they don't have New Game Plus. Because now that Cyberpunk 2077 is good, I actually want to play a New Game Plus to, like, fucking max out, make an OP character, and just blast through the story and side missions, whatever. And I wanted to do the same in Baldur's Gate, but they don't have it. Also makes trophy hunting way more fun.
Like, I'm trying to think, is there any other game that I'm more excited for than this? I genuinely don't know. They don't even have a release date for
This, Space Marine 2. This game looks good. Space Marine 2. There's another one coming. Phantom Blade Zero. That's a while off, though. And I think Last of the Ronin. There's so many good fucking games coming out, especially on PS5. So many fucking bangers.
Like, I'm expecting a 2025. I'm expecting like a mid-2025, maybe a late 2024 we're probably not going to see this game for the better part of a year minimum. However, that gives me plenty of time to play the first one, and so I'm all right. Did you play the original? I did not. I did not play the original. So that means that I have all that time to play the original and get into that too. Dragon's Dogma 2. So this is the new combat. This is actual gameplay.
Some more gameplay.
I'm gonna move it up a little bit so you guys can see that part. So this is like that city that we saw in the first. I want to move it up so you guys can see the map here. In the first trailer.
The open world.
As you can see, there's a bird. In the first trailer. As you can see, there's a bird.
People popping in.
That's just ravaging the plains, but they're walking by it as if it didn't even happen. So if you look right here, you can see there's a problem in the farm. There is a giant that's basically ruining everybody's day.
The big Griffin, whatever it's called. Eagle.
Cool, yeah. Real pain in the ass.
I'll ignore that. I love games like this, man. You just see you just see some wild shit popping off in the distance, and you could just ignore it, go about your day. It makes you want to go to it. Just cool, dynamic world events. I don't know if that's a word to describe it.
Oh, but I'm kind of thinking about starting it the day after, like more realistically. And whenever I do, I'm gonna play through that so I can play the new content, and then afterwards. Afterwards, I think I'm going to play Dragon's Dogma 1. I think that's the next game that I want to get into. And I'm going to play Dragon's Dogma 1, by the way, like very, very open-endedly. Like, I'm not really going to try to, like, make content out of it. I just really want to play the game and enjoy it. So, like, it's not going to be, like, a super... Like, it probably will be boring a lot of times for the stream, but I just want to have fun and play the game. No, Liza P. I'll probably finish that tomorrow. That's what I was saying, not tomorrow, for Cyberpunk. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit so we can see actually some of the real
combat. That's what we want. Combat and exploration.
But you can't ignore the truth.
Looks like an early build. Yeah, this came out I think today, right? Yeah, 5 hours ago. I really love the draw distance in the game. Just the way this looks is absolutely incredible to me. Look at that.
Good fucking riddance. Fine.
It's got the nice, relaxing music. No loading screens. Isn't that crazy how he left the town and there wasn't a loading screen to leave the town? Bro, I think this is like a vertical slice or it's like fake or something like that because I don't think the technology for that's there yet. Yeah, maybe this is actually just like a movie or something or like pre-rendered.
No, I don't think it is because I saw stuff popping in. I think the game just processes it at... Like, it just loads whatever you could see. And whatever... I forgot exactly how it does. I forget exactly how to explain it. God damn it.
Yeah, maybe this is actually just like a movie or something, or like pre-rendered.
He's hyping it up.
It's got to be fake.
He knows what he's doing. Never mind. Nah, this shit is
Draw
sick.
distance on landscape is nice. Hopefully they fix the NPCs popping in. You'll probably be able to fix that with like culling on PC. I will download mods for games that will make the visual experience more clear. Like for example, I'm gonna download graphics mods for Dragon's Dogma 1. This is so fake. Bro, I think it is too. Like there's no way a real human cat looks like that. I've never seen a goblin in real life, bro. I just got gangbanged. One level 1 goblin
Ooh, she's
annihilated
typing.
by the fucking Fellowship of the Ring.
No tell,
And the guy with
motel.
the fire
Oh shit, I'm about to get some ass. Venus and furs. Penis and furs. Oh. About to get that bush. Where the fuck is my car, Takamura? Give me a ride.
Just a Night City name. Beware, you mock.
Take me to the hotel.
Bored. The guy just picked it up and threw him. The guy just picked him up and threw him at the other one.
I love that shit.
Well, that's like the executability that's in Final Fantasy.
Man, wasn't this video
Final
quality?
Fantasy 16. And then that impale attack is the same one.
Even with you have to have
Is in Black Desert.
I apologize. That came off wrong.
Oh shit.
Oh, he's fighting
Bro, Mr.
the
Bird's
buffalo.
fucking with the ox too? Bro, he just doesn't give up. There must be Goblin Slayer fans. Super excited for season 2, man. Super excited. I love season 1. So now they've got the Griffin. Okay, so go hit him. He's got a lot of health. Are those 3 circles there? Or 4 circles there? Are those like health bars he's got? I don't know.
Holy shit.
I guess that's if companion's knocked down. Oh yeah, it is. Oh wow, bro, they didn't do anything.
Oh, this is the Tokyo Game Show gameplay. I was wondering why. Okay, so this is not the actual showcased gameplay, but this is what was available at the show.
It's Ayo, fuck the team. Bro,
Jackie,
classic
what?
WoW
Takamura.
hardcore POV. Yep.
Nice parking,
No
dickhead.
more damn POV. He a roach.
Fuck.
He gonna roach out. Let's go. It even sounds like classic WoW players. Bro, he's not even thinking about them anymore. He's gone. Let's wait for the Chimera. It's annoying as fuck. Yeah, for sure. Oh, wait, it's a danger bird. Oh, I see. Yeah, the archer's trying to kill it.
Wakaka?
Music's nice.
Wakako.
I hope games have the option. I remember whenever New World added this was like kind of an improvement to not have combat music. Because like sometimes going from like combat to not
She's got
combat
tats?
whenever you're traveling in the world is
Damn.
like very jarring, like with the music going back and forth.
Damn, Granny.
So I hope that they have it to where that's not the case.
I don't know why
Like, they
tattoos
actually
are so
turn off combat
sexy.
music. I felt that way about Final Fantasy.
What up,
and
Granny?
Immersion. It does.
Let me hit it
felt that
right
way
one
about Final
time.
Fantasy 16 as well. Like going through like some of those like forest areas, and there'll be like a spider that's like, yeah, and it's like, dun, 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 dun. It's like, okay, come on.
It is. Need it.
Okay. Can you kill one of these guys up here? I really like games that have like these wide open spaces. Oh shit, okay, they're gonna fight the dogs. Okay. She's like, what the fuck? Alright, oh wait, what? Yo, they got a big boy over there. But he's only got 2 of those little diamonds next to him, so it's probably easier to kill than the fucking griffin. Alright. This guy's got... I wonder if the fire weapon does anything unique. Like if it can catch people on fire or some shit. I'm assuming it probably can. It looks like there's a lot of like environmental like multipliers in this. It does, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Dude, I'm so excited to play this. I'm actually so fucking excited. This is gonna be so fun. Monster ran away. Well, that's good. Makes it interesting. I mean, it's annoying sometimes.
Oh, we got him. Get together, boys.
I think having NPCs that behave differently is probably better than. Like, it's one thing.
Man, I don't want to see all this
run
shit.
away constantly, which is like really annoying, like in Diablo 4. But like having it happen sometimes is.
What the fuck am I doing?
Oh, wow, so you can actually go inside their hitbox. Like, watch this. If you can move that tightly, I bet the hitboxes in this game is going to be pretty good. Yeah, wow, that's actually really clean. Like, what? Look
Damn.
at the, it's going to look like he's sucking the dude's dick, but like, look at this. Right? See that? He went right underneath it. That's so clean. Ooh.
Try to get Granny's ass in there.
Bro, he just says, boom, bitch. Get out of my life. Kinda cool if you do it on purpose, yeah. Bro, he just threw him and then he walked over and stomped on his head. This guy's an asshole.
Damn, Granny.
By the way, you see how clean and
Looking
fluid
thick.
these animations are? There's no, like, weird...
At the end, the floats afloat out of Japantown. And we'll be left with trash up to our elbows.
By the way, you see how...
That's it. That's all I have.
By the way, you see how clean and fluid these animations are? There's no, like, weird...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Very clean, very fluid.
Especially
predictable.
important for a game where you have like parry and dodging. That timing is really important. Gotta get those animations right.
Understandable, physically consistent, and logical. Very
Yup.
nice to see this.
Yup.
Is this co-op or NPCs? NPCs that help you.
Hello? Oh, it's fine. I'm coming out right now. Appreciate it, thanks. Just a gay guy with a beard. What up, Here you go. God damn it. Yo, what up? Alright, gotta go anyway. Fuck. Talk to Takamura. Nah, I'm gonna save. Fuck it.